Hello and welcome back to the Football Commentaries live stream. After the dust has settled for Christmas and Boxing Day, we have a mid-table Premier League clash between Brentford and Wolves. Brentford, under Thomas Frank, have been strong recently at home with 3 wins in their last 4 at the G-Tech Community Stadium, with their last home game being a defeat though to Aston Villa in the 85th minute with a Watkins winner. Wolves come into this game after a Christmas Eve cracker with a 2-1 win against Chelsea, which has boosted them up the table to 12th position. Brentford have had a full 10 days to prepare and recover, as their last scheduled game against Manchester City was postponed due to Pep Guardiola's team being involved in the Club World Cup, which could be an upper hand for them in this game, where Wolves have only had the 3 days to be ready for tonight's encounter. The last meeting between these two was back in April of this year, which saw Wolves win by 2-0, with goals from Diego Costa and on-fire Hwang Hee-chan. So, for the 32nd meeting between Brentford and Wolves, which side will reach the top half of the table with 3 points? 3 points for Brentford would put them right on the edge of that top half. For Wolves, it would knock them up into the top half of the table, going alongside what result Chelsea get as well, because Chelsea are just above them on goal difference. But for Brentford, they kind of want to be looking upwards, because if they look downwards the table, it can be a little bit scary for them. They are only 4 points off the relegation places. Brentford, they've got 19 points. Wolves have currently got 22, and I think with Brentford you can clearly see that they are missing Ivan Toney for sure. Also, Brian Mbeumo has also been out injured the last couple of weeks, and they've been missing him. So I think Brentford have really got to get through to January, try and take as least hits as possible, wait for Toney to return, because I highly doubt Ivan Toney will be leaving Brentford in January. I think he'll definitely stay for the season and then possibly leave in the summer. So if they can get Toney back, getting Mbeumo back as soon as possible, then I think Brentford will be absolutely fine to coast to probably a mid-table finish. For Wolves, it's just a little bit strange, the results they're picking up. At home, they're doing fantastic. They've beaten Manchester City, Tottenham and Chelsea at home. But away from home, it's just 2 wins in 9 away in the Premier League, with 6 defeats in those 9 against Manchester United, Palace, Sheffield United, Fulham, Arsenal and West Ham. So there's a lot of positives to take up for Wolves under Gary O'Neill, but then a lot of negatives, especially more away from home. But they are 12th position currently, and a win tonight could move them up at least a place or 2, depending on all the results around them. So it'll be very interesting to see how this game goes, and then what it does for each of these teams' positions in the table as we head towards the new year. How's it going, lad? Brentford, Wolves. I like Brentford here. Wolves' form on the road is kind of poor. Who you got? Yeah, I don't, honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to look at both of their records, and to be fair, Brentford at home have been very mixed. Like, literally in their record, they've won 3 games at home, they've drawn 3 games at home, and they've also lost 3 games at home. And you just think like any Brentford could turn up, really. Obviously, again, missing the likes of Mbeumo and Toney is just huge for them. I think that'll have an effect. And I think, to be fair, I think it depends what Wolves' side turns up as well, because I've watched them a couple of times this season, and the last time we commentated on Wolves was against Burnley at home, and I know they won that game 1-0, but they weren't great. They created a few chances, and one of the main ones they did take, in fairness, through Hwang Hee-chan. And then Brentford as well, at home. I think it just depends what team turns up the most. I think if they're both on it, I think it could be a very even game, but I feel like, if one's just a little bit off the pace, then, it could go the other way. I think it all depends. I think that's why it's such an intriguing game tonight, because it can go either way. I don't think there's an outright favourite. I don't think anyone can categorically say this team will win. I think it could go either way. I mean, based off recent form, I think you probably lean more towards Wolves, possibly, because Brentford are currently 3 defeats on the bounce against Brighton, Sheffield United and Aston Villa. Just the 1 win in December, and that was against Luton. But, then again, which way does momentum swing? Because Brentford's last game was at home to Aston Villa on the 17th of December. It's now the 27th, and Wolves have played a few more games since then. Wolves, obviously, last game was 3 days ago off the back of a great win against Chelsea. So even though they've played a little bit sooner, they'll probably have more momentum because they're coming into the game off such a big win. And Brentford, they've coming into this game off a loss, and the fact they've had to wait 10 days. So then you could also say that they might be itching to get out there and prove the home support wrong, that the fact that this team can perform. So like I say, as you can see by what I'm saying, I think it's just very even, and we'll just have to see how the game pans out. I'm a Chelsea fan, so we desperately need to beat Palace today. Must win, yeah, 100%. Chelsea 30 minutes versus Wolves was good stuff. Then disaster struck. Yeah, I mean, obviously Chelsea need the points. That goes without saying. They're currently mid-table and they need victories. But I don't think losing to Wolves is the worst result in terms of what they've done against other teams. Wolves have beaten Tottenham and Manchester City at home. So obviously at Molineux, they're a really good side and they're hard to beat. So, but for Chelsea, in the position they're in, they kind of just need wins now. They can't be looking at other teams' form. They've got to be looking at themselves and thinking, we need wins. It doesn't matter what team we are up against. We've got to get up the table and get some wins. So I definitely, against Crystal Palace as well, who are struggling a lot themselves. I think Palace are no wins in 7, if I'm not mistaken, something like that, because we commentated on them in their last game, I think it was, against Brighton, which was 1-1. They had a great first half, Crystal Palace, that day, but second half they just sat back a little bit too much, and eventually they did concede late on to that Welbeck header. But yeah, if Wolves win, depending on how much they win by, they would go up to 10th place, which is the top half, but they would have a game, they would have played a game extra than Bournemouth, so, it would put them, 10th for now, which would be fantastic. I definitely think that'll be Gary O'Neill's target for this season for Wolves, because they've got a fantastic squad. I really like the squad Wolves have got. I think they've got a lot of really good individual talent, so I think Gary O'Neill's aim will be a top half finish, and I think it'll be the same for Brentford, because remember, Brentford had a great season last year. They were 9th position, but they got 59 points. They had the joint least amount of losses, Brentford, outside the top 4, alongside Liverpool. They only lost twice at home last season, Brentford, against Arsenal and Newcastle. And, they were not far off the European spots in the end, Brentford. And obviously this season, with the fact they've been missing Tony, and then Mbeumo's been injured as of late, it's just been difficult for them to find the goals up front. But just the one win in the last 6 for Brentford. So they need to get back on form. And no matter what excuses they say, with players missing, the Premier League is not very forgiving. If you drop off, you will drop down, and it's your responsibility to get back up that table. And they've got to start getting points on the board as soon as possible, as both teams here at the G-Tech Community Stadium enter the field of play, leaving the tunnel. Brentford being led out by captain and number 6 Christian Norgard, and Wolves are being led by club captain Max Kilman, mid-captain, at the start of this season. And I'm presuming it'll be a fairly sold-out crowd. This stadium just holds over 17,000 supporters. It's a 5-hour round trip on the roads for Wolves tonight. And obviously with the other games on in the Premier League, we'll keep you up to date with the scores. The same kick-off time for this game is Chelsea Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, and then Manchester City take on Everton at Goodison Park at 8:15. So once that game kicks off, we'll also keep you up to date with the scoreline in Liverpool there. I do like Cunha to score today. I think Cunha, is definitely Wolves' best player, technically. Signed for £44 million in the summer after a loan spell at the start of this year. But we'll go through both teams now in a little bit more detail. I know they're on screen, but we'll start with Brentford, and their goalkeeper is going to be Mark Flecken, joined in the summer from Freiburg after losing David Raya. Looks like it might be a back four, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a very versatile formation and a set of players for Brentford. They can kind of go with plenty of systems, but it's Maz Roerslev to play at right back. He made his 100th appearance in their last game against Aston Villa. Returning, Nathan Collins is back after missing the last 4 games before Aston Villa. He's back in the starting 11 due to Ben Mee's yellow card suspension. He was signed in the summer from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He'll play alongside Ethan Pinnock, who's making his 80th appearance in the Premier League, and at left back is going to be Vitaly Yarnelt, who's featured in every game so far this season for Brentford in all competitions. A midfield three of captain Christian Norgard and Saman Ghoddos and Yegor Yarmoluk, and a front three of Johan Wissa, who's also featured in every game for Brentford this season in all competitions. He also played in every Premier League game last season, scoring the 7 goals. He's going to be on the right. On the left is going to be Keane Lewis Potter, who got his first Premier League goal of the season and of his career in their last game against Aston Villa in that 2-1 defeat. And leading the line is going to be Loney Neil Mopey, who in his first spell at the club did score 41 goals in 95, and so far he's got the 2 goals this season, both at home to West Ham and Luton. For Wolves, their starting 11 is going to be Jose Sarr in goal. Just the 1 clean sheet for him so far this season. That came back in August away at Everton. Their back 3 is going to be Matt Kilman, the captain, Totti Gomez, and in the middle it is going to be Santiago Bueno, who signed from Girona for £8.5 million in the summer. He makes his 4th appearance this season in the Premier League. 2 wing-backs of Nelson Semedo and Ryan Ait-Nouri, who did start the first 12 games of the season, the Algerian wing-back, and his start against Chelsea was his first in the last 6, so he's starting to get back into the starting 11. Ryan Ait-Nouri, and the 2 central midfielders are going to be Mario Lemina, who got another goal this season. It was his 3rd of the season against Chelsea on Christmas Eve, and he'll play alongside João Gomez, who has started 6 of the last 7 Premier League games, and a forward line of Pablo Sarabia, Hwang Hee-chan, who's got 8 goals so far this season in the Premier League, 2 in his last 6, and leading the line up front is number 12, Mateus Cunha, who's making his 40th appearance for the club since he started playing for Wolves back in January on loan, and then he joined on a permanent in the summer from Atletico Madrid. The referee tonight is Andy Madley, the 40-year-old, who has refereed this season for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and that was in their 4-1 home defeat to Brighton, and this is his first time he is officiating a Brentford game this season. Take it easy, McGonagall. Yep, that's absolutely fine. Enjoy the Chelsea game. I hope for your sake it's a positive result. As here at the GTEC Community Stadium, we're underway with Ethan Pinnock sending it long for Brentford from kick-off. Cleared here by Lamina, headed back forward by Ghoddos, looking for Mopey, headed won by Kilman, brought down by Lamina midway inside the Wolves half. He's gone back to centre-half Totti Gomez. He's now with Bueno on the edge of the 18-yard box for Wolves, as it's the away team to have some possession of the ball. As Bueno goes out to the right-hand side, it's overhit and overhead of Sarabia, and it's a throw in for Brentford, as it'll be Brentford kicking left to right, Wolves right to left for this first 45 minutes. And we've got the home side in possession with Nathan Collins, formerly of Wolves, spent a season there before moving to Brentford. His ball up towards Wissa has been cut out by Totti Gomez. His pass is poured towards João Gomez, and then he takes down Norgard on halfway. And that'll be a Brentford free kick. It's always annoying when you're researching a team and then they've got 2 players with the same last name and they both start, and then you've got to use both of their first names. Obviously, for Wolves, that is Totti Gomez, the left centre-half, and João Gomez in the central midfield area. As Brentford in their own half. Edge of their 18-yard box, Ethan Pinnock goes back into the 18-yard box with Flecken, the goalkeeper. He will send it down the Brentford right. It's a high ball beyond the halfway line. Wissa can't win the header on Totti Gomez, but the Wolves man can only head it out for a throw-in on this near side. And it'll be Brentford's ball with their right wing back, Mads Roerslev, who started 3 of the last 4 games now for Brentford, as the ball's been sent down the right-hand side, controlled by Bueno for Wolves. His clearance comes off Wissa and then back off Bueno, and that'll be a corner kick for the home side. Well won there by Johan Wissa. Didn't give that one up. The Dominican Republic, the DR Congo forward, and the Uruguayan centre-half Santiago Bueno concedes the corner on this near side. Number 14, Saman Ghoddos, comes to take it, and he goes short to Yarmoluk, then across to Roerslev. Yarnelt back into the 18-yard box towards Lewis Potter, whose header into the box is collected by Jose Sarr, and it'll be Wolves to just calm down a little bit there. Being tested early with a short set-piece routine from Brentford, which was dealt with in the end confidently by the goalkeeper Jose Sarr. He's actually been booked twice in this fixture. In the previous 4 times he's come up against Brentford, the Portuguese goalkeeper, as Wolves play out from the back. Lamina, ball forward from the midfield, looking towards Nori, intercepted off a Brentford man, drops for a throw-in for Wolves, taken quickly by Cunha to Totti. Gomez at the back, the left centre half. It's now Lamina, back out to the left to Cunha, more in a left-back position here, the Brazilian forward. Deep inside his own half, he turns away from Norgard. That's a great bit of skill from Cunha, and away from Godos. Then plays it forward towards Sarabia, tackled well by a slide challenge from Roerslev, won well on the halfway line. Yarnelt for Brentford, down the right-hand side. Pass intercepted by a sliding Lamina. And it'll be Brentford throwing on this near side once again in the Wolves half. Great bit of skill though there from Cunha to take on 2 Wolves players as the throwing goes towards Mope. Controls it well, gets away from Bueno, pokes out towards the left-hand side, cut out by Semedo. Ahead of Lewis Potter, and Semedo will dribble past the halfway line now, marauding down the right-hand side. He's got João Gomez to his left. He tries to go out to the right towards Hwang Hee-chan. It's a short ball, and it's won back by Lewis Potter. And Brentford can have it with their goalkeeper Flecken. Forward to the edge of the 18-yard box here to Collins. Right back Roerslev, looks down the line, deflects off Nori, then cleared by Collins. It's a high one. It's took forward by Totti Gomez, flicked out to the left by João Gomez. It'll be controlled here by Nori, who's got Roerslev on his back. He nutmegs Yarmoliuk, and it'll be picked up by Lamina, who gets it into the centre circle here with Kilman. Well kept there by Wolves on the left-hand side. Kilman, 1-2, Hwang Hee-chan, the centre half, getting forward, laying it off to his left to Cunha, edge of the box, squaring it to the right to Kilman, then forward out to the left to Nori, onto his right foot, lays it off for Cunha, who finds João Gomez, who shoots, and on the edge of the box it's blocked by Yarnelt, or as far as Kilman, who goes out to the left here to Totti Gomez, who will keep it in for the away side as they keep possession in the Brentford half. This Lamina will send a driven ball forward, cut out on the edge of the box by Pinnock, drops to the feet of Norgard. It's now Yarmoliuk on the Brentford right. He's surrounded by 2 Wolves players, and he's dispossessed in the end by Mario Lamina on the halfway line. And it'll be Wolves to regain the ball once again as we're 5 minutes in and we're yet to have a shot at goal. Obviously, we had that João Gomez attempt, but it was blocked pretty early, so we've not had an attempt that's worried the goalkeepers in the opening 5 minutes. Interestingly enough, at last season, there was 18 points that separated these 2 sides. At Christmas Day last year, Wolves was at bottom of the league, 10 points from 15 games, and Brentford were 10th with 19 points after 15 games. They're currently on 19 points after playing 17 this season. So a little bit of a difference for the 2 sides from last year. It's Brentford now on the ball with Ethan Pinnock dribbling out of his 18-yard area, laying it off to Godos, who looks like he's taking a left-back position, and he finds a ball over the top for Lewis Potter. That's a fantastic ball down the channel in the final third. Potter cutting in onto his right foot, backheeling it into the run of Yarnelt, who will dink it out towards the back post towards Wissa. It had to be headed behind by Totti Gomez, and it'll be a corner for Brentford. Really well worked there. It's a fantastic ball from Godos over the top, finding Lewis Potter, who ran at Nelson Semedo and got it onto his right foot, backheeled it into the path of Yarnelt, who had a free cross, and Wissa, who was all alone at the far post, nearly had the ball towards him, but it was cut out by Totti Gomez. But it'll be another corner for Brentford on this near side. Sam and Godos to take. They went short with the first corner. Will they aim this one into the area this time out? Godos will put it in towards the near post. It's flicked on and off of Cunha. That's going to be another corner, and it will be. I think it was Vitaly Yarnelt at the near post who got the flick on. Went in unmarked. The next ball's gone in. Header away by Bueno. Helped back forward by Pinnock. Collins can't quite help it towards the goalkeeper. Cleared by Cunha on the volley. Headed away and out to the left by Yarmoliuk for Pinnock. In a left wing position here for Brentford. As he tries to get away from João Gomez, but he can't quite do so as Nori doubled up on him. And Pinnock loses possession. It's now João Gomez who gives it away himself there. Header away by Pinnock. And eventually it stays in for Brentford with Lewis Potter down the line for Mope. Tries to keep it away from Lamina. Goes down under the challenge of the central midfielder, and he wins it fairly. And he sends it out to the Wolves left here for Cunha inside his own half still. He's passing the halfway line now. He's got Semedo to his left. He goes to Hwang Hee-chan on the inside. He completes a 1-2. Cunha with it. Misplaces the ball, but then wins it back after Yarmoliuk gives it away for Brentford. And it's Wolves in possession on the halfway line, on the right-hand side with Kilman. Now midway inside their own half here with Santiago Bueno, who was once of Barcelona for over 2.5 years. Didn't make an appearance for the senior team, though. The 25-year-old Uruguayan, who's joined in the summer from Girona. As Totti Gomez goes over the top down the Wolves' left. It'll be picked up here by Hwang Hee-chan, who's onside. He tries to drive on the inside, but Roslev stops him. Good defending from the right wing back. And it'll be Brentford in possession in the 18-yard box. Good defending there from Mads Roslev. And they've got out to the left-hand side here with Keane Lewis Potter driving forward into the Wolves' half. Wants the 1-2 with Mope. Loses out there the Frenchman to Kilman. And it's now on the far side with Pablo Sarabia. He's just got the 1 goal so far this season. And that came against Spurs, the equaliser in the 87th minute at Molineux. It's his 5th start in a row for the Spanish international, or former Spanish international. As Wolves still have it in their own half. Out to the right-hand side again to Sarabia. Got a bit of time to find a pass. He goes over the top towards Semedo. The flag stays down for the moment. As towards the byline, he keeps it in. He needs the cut back here, Semedo. He'll try and find Cunha. He can't quite get there ahead of Mads Roslev. And he pokes it away from him. And it'll be a throw-in the final third here for Wolves. As the flag never went up on the far side in the end. So we will also have a throw-in deep in the Brentford half. It's a 1-2 from the throw-in. It's back with Semedo. 1-on-1 with Godos. Forced to go backwards here to Kilman, the captain. It's now with Bueno. To Totti Gomez in the centre circle. Plays it to the left to Aït-Nouri. Forward to Cunha. Tries to go backwards there, but it's cut out by Wissa. He helps it forward towards Mope, who can't quite hold it up ahead of Santiago Bueno. And eventually it's cleared by Kilman. And it'll roll out for Brentford throwing on the near side. Midway inside their own half. It's thrown back here to Nathan Collins, who signed for Wolves last season and only stayed for a year before being shipped off to Brentford in the summer for £23 million. Didn't get any goals though, unfortunately, for Wolves during his time there. Did get a red card. You might remember it, a high boot on Grealish at Molineux. As in the box there, Cunha just can't quite get on the over-the-top ball. Well defended again by Mads Roslev. Ball over the top there, I think by João Gomez. Cunha tried to chest it down, but the touch was a little bit too heavy and Flecken came and collected. And Brentford work it out to the left. Lewis Potter in the final third, running at Semedo, wanting to get onto his right foot again, but going back onto his left. Playing it forward towards Jarnell, who was coming back from an offside position. And the ball will be seen through there into the hands of Jose Sarr. It's not quite on the same wavelength there. Vitaly Arnelt and Keane Lewis Potter, who got his first Premier League goal of his career in their defeat to Aston Villa, which gave them the lead in the 45th minute. But then goals from Alex Moreno and Ollie Watkins late in the second half meant that Aston Villa took all 3 points. As Jose Sarr kicks it out of his hands, and it's a header won by Pinnock in the Brentford half. Only as far as João Gomez heads it out to the left-hand side to Cunha. Dribbling away here from Yarmouk and lays it off into Aït-Nouri. Midway inside the Brentford half. He goes back here to Totti Gomez. Simple ball to his right to Lamina. Gomez. And that's João Gomez to Cunha. Hwang Hee-chan back to Gomez, who's been forced to go backwards and then turns back forward to Hwang Hee-chan. Nice ball into the South Korean. Forced out to the left-hand side with a pass to Aït-Nouri in the final third. Squares it to his right to João Gomez. Plays a ball through, forward, in between the defensive gap between Brentford's defence. And Hwang Hee-chan's squared ball came off Yarnell and looped over the crossbar. Really good ball there from João Gomez to find the gap in the Brentford defence. That's what I was trying to say just before. And it did find Hwang Hee-chan. And with his left foot, squared the ball low. And Yarnell just about steered it over the crossbar. Nearly an own goal there for the German midfielder. But it'll be a corner on this near side for Wolves. It'll be a left-footed outswinger from Pablo Sarabia. He'll put a floater in towards the far post. Headed forward by Lamina. Kilman back to goal. He lays it off for João Gomez as the shot's blocked off the head of Collins. Out to the left to Sarabia, who took the original corner. He crosses it in. It's a dangerous one! And headed in by Lamina. Back-to-back goals for Mario Lamina. He scored on Christmas Eve. He now scores again today. And when you have such an inviting cross put in there by Sarabia, there was only one end result. And that was a goal for Wolves. Couple of yards out Lamina storming in with the header. He was the one who headed it to Kilman from the original corner. Then Kilman laid it off to João Gomez, whose shot was blocked. It then came back out to Sarabia on this near side. Left-footed cross into the 6-yard area. Lamina ghosted in, all on his own. Free header at the far post. Headed it into the right-hand side of the goal. Absolutely no chance for Mark Flecken in the Brentford goal. And as we are just striking the 13th minute, it's Brentford 0, Wolves 1. Lamina with the goal again. Such a tasty cross there from Pablo Sarabia, showing his real quality. And then Mario Lamina scoring once again for Wolves. Like I say, he scored in that 2-1 win against Chelsea as a back pass short to Flecken. He's been cut out by Hwang Hee-chan. He has an open goal. And it's back-to-back goals in quick succession for Wolves. If you blink, you miss that goal. It's an absolute gift for Wolverhampton Wanderers as they double their lead again. They went 2-0 up against Chelsea in their last game. They're now 2-0 up again. And it came directly from kickoff. The ball's played back to Pinnock. He goes to his right to Collins, who tries to go down the right-hand side. That pass has been blocked off by Cunha, so he tries to go backwards towards Flecken. It's short towards the goalkeeper. And as he tries to chase towards it on the edge of the box, Hwang Hee-chan just gets there ahead of him, takes it around the goalkeeper, and with no one around him, he could just dribble it towards goal. And before he even kicked it into the back of the net, he already had a smile on his face. And Hwang Hee-chan scores his 9th of the season in the Premier League. He's having a fantastic goal-scoring campaign. And at the GTEC Community Stadium, it's Brentford 0, Wolves 2. And it's a gift from the former Wolves defender, Nathan Collins. Short back pass was punished. 2-0. I'd love to know the goal-scoring times for those two goals. There must have been about a minute difference. What a gift that is for Wolves. Gary O'Neill will be absolutely loving this from his side. So Lamina in the 13th minute, Hwang Hee-chan in the 14th, and Brentford have got a huge mountain to climb. As on the right-hand side, it's Yarmuluk, forward and through to Wissa. Cuts it back, touch for Norgard, helps it on towards, I think that's Yarnell, put into the sky by Sarabia. Headed back forward by Norgard, helped into the path of Wissa by Mopé! And that's a goal back already. We've had 3 goals in the space of 3 minutes. Johan Wissa with the goal. He hadn't scored in the last 8 games for Brentford. And when they need him most, he's got back on the score sheet. It's a bit of a mess for Wolves trying to clear the ball. And Norgard's header forward to Mopé on the edge of the 18-yard box. He just lifts it through with his right foot into the path of Wissa, who got away from Bueno. And with his right foot, he was able to dispatch it into the top left corner, beyond Jose Sarr. And Wolves, who have only kept 1 clean sheet so far this season away from home, and that was all the way back in August, are once again not keeping a clean sheet. It's Brentford 1, Wolves 2. A goal in the 13th minute, a goal in the 14th, and a goal in the 16th. What a passage of 3 or 4 minutes of play here at the GTEC Community Stadium. A great response from Brentford after going 2-0 down in the space of, got to be under a minute maybe, conceding from a cross and then conceding directly from kickoff as they're checking for a possible offside here in the Brentford goal. I'm not sure who's offside because Johan Wissa definitely wasn't offside from the pass through from Neil Mopé. And I think that was a very swift VAR check. And I'm going to presume the goal will stand, and it will do. And it's Brentford 1, Wolves 2. And their deficit is cut in half by the home side. Johan Wissa with the goal. What a game we've got on our hands here. I've picked the right game. Yes. Finally. We've got goals galore here at the GTEC. And at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Palace, it is 1-0 to Chelsea. Mikhailo Mudryk with the goal in the 13th minute. So it's 1-0 there at Stamford Bridge. It's 2-1 here at the GTEC. As Brentford are coming forward again, out to the left-hand side to Lewis Potter in the final third. Right-footed cross towards Yarnelt, who has the shot saved by Jose Sarr. And that was nearly an equaliser. We've nearly just had 4 goals in the space of 4 minutes. Great cross from Lewis Potter. And at the far post, Yarnelt won the header ahead of Santiago Bueno. But Jose Sarr was equal to it. And Wolves try and come forward here. Sarabia on the left-hand side. Midway side, the Brentford half. Goes to Aït-Nouri, who goes back to Totti Gomez and across to Bueno. And halfway, it's Wolves in possession. They work it out to the right-hand side to Kilman. Dribbles forward. Lays it off here to Semedo, the number 22 for Wolves, who have got 2 assists at this ground previously. Semedo. 1 last season and 1 the season before. It's with Kilman again, crossing the halfway line, going to his left to João Gomez. Looking for his options down the Wolves' right-hand side. He plays it through for the run of Semedo. Great pass again by João Gomez. Semedo crosses early. It's a swinger towards the far post. It will be met by Roerslev, who volleys away for Brentford beyond Ryan Aït-Nouri. And it will be a throw-in for Wolves in the final third on this near side. What a electric start to the game we've had here. As Wolves are looking for their 3rd win in their 10th Premier League away game of the season. And for Brentford, they have just picked up the 1 win in their last 6. And that came against Luton Town as Lamina sends the ball over the top for Wolves. Cleared by Godos ahead of Sarabia. Loops in the air and headed on by Norgard. Picked up by Nelson Semedo on halfway. Heads it into his left to João Gomez. He nods it forward to Cunha, who brings it down. And goes back to Lamina in the centre circle. Then out to the right to Semedo. In the Brentford half we are, with Wolves in possession. João Gomez forward and out to the right to Semedo, who tries to go backwards towards Sarabia, who made the run forward. Cut out here and picked up by Mope, who's got an assist to his name through the pass he played to Johan Wissa. And it'll be Brentford to build from the back with their goalkeeper, Mark Flecken. If you are new, if you could like and subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. 2 more commentaries before the new year. We've got Celtic Rangers on the 30th of December, and then on New Year's Eve we've got Fulham taking on Arsenal. It's Brentford still inside their 18-yard area with their goalkeeper Flecken, who's now not got any clean sheets in his last 8 games for Brentford. Obviously coinciding with their poor run of form at the minute for Thomas Frank's men. They have got it forward to Norgard, who's dribbling towards the halfway line, looking out to the Brentford left. Lays it off here to Godos, exactly on halfway. Goes back inside to Norgard. He's going to play a high ball out to the right-hand side, looking towards Wissa. It'll reach him in the final third on this near side. Wissa running at Gomez. Chops onto his left foot, edge of the box, plays it through for Yarnell, who flicks it off his heel towards Lewis Potter on the far side, cut out by Semedo, who will drive forward with his pace. We know he's quick, and he won't stop going. Semedo, what a run, deep into the Brentford half. He's got Hwang Hee-chan to his left. He plays it to him, and as he tries to get onto his right foot, he's tackled by Yarmoluk, and it's well defended there by the Ukrainian midfielder there. And that should have been a goal, really, as he's played the ball out of play. As there's a man down here for Brentford, and it's Mads Roerslev holding his left ear. It's a great run from Semedo, who got the ball inside his own area and ran right up to the edge of the 18-yard box, where he slotted a nice ball through for Hwang Hee-chan. And then Hwang Hee-chan just tried to get onto his right foot and eventually was tackled. So I don't quite know what's happened to Roerslev and why he's gone down. I think it was during the Brentford attack he went down. As Wolves have definitely been the more clinical side. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. As I think Mads Roerslev will be okay. As the referee drops it to the feet of Flecken. And we will restart. Roerslev is fine to continue. We can see him on this near side. So it'll be Brentford to build from the back. The ball's gone short here to Ethan Pinnock. He only experienced 1 win against today's opposition back in September of 2021. It was the draw the last time out between these two at this ground. It was 1-1. Brentford took the lead in the 50th minute through Ben Mee, and then 2 minutes later, Ruben Neves equalised for Wolves. That was back in late October of 2022. It's Brentford still playing out from the back here in their defensive third with Collins, who's already gave a goal away today. A short back pass to Flecken for Wolves' second through Hwang Hee-chan. And it's still Brentford midway inside their own half here with Christian Norgard, the number 6. 74th appearance for him in the Premier League, scoring on his Premier League debut back against Arsenal a couple seasons ago, as he plays a ball out to the right-hand side, well brought down by Wissa, and he gets around Totti Gomez. Wissa's in, edge of the box, Now enters the box. Onto his right foot, he tries to square it. Well defended by Totti Gomez, who had to recover after being taken on there by Wissa. And it's a corner again on this near side for Brentford. Really good skill by Wissa, but I think the control was the best part, bringing that pass down from Norgard. But well defended in the end as he tried to cut the ball back into the box. As it's gone short to Yarmouk. On once more to Roslev. Back out to the right to Yarmouk. Bodies are in there. He's got time to cross it. He'll put it in. It's a header won by Cunha. He'll drop to Aït-Nouri. Centre of the field. He dribbles out towards the right-hand side, but he's tackled by Pinnock fairly. And it's now Yarnell on for Brentford. Forward to Norgard. Out to the left to Potter. He's got everything to his right here. 1-on-1 with João Gomez. We know he wants to get onto his right foot. He'll do just that. And he'll cross it towards the far post, but no one was making a late run. And he goes straight through for a Wolves goal kick. The attempted cross was applauded there by Brentford manager Thomas Frank. But it will be a goal kick for the away side. Their 7th win of the season for Wolves. If they win tonight, 18 of their 22 points have come through victory. Great amount of people here, so if you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. We've been treated to a splendid opening 24 minutes in this game. As Jose Sarr will take this goal kick. It's a high one. It's beyond the halfway line. It's down the Wolves' right. Header won by Pinnock. Headed forward by Bueno for Wolves. But there was a free kick on Pinnock as he went to win that header. I think there was a little push on him. So it'll be a Brentford free kick just inside their own half. More towards their left-hand side. It'll be taken by Jamaican Ethan Pinnock. Goes to left-back Godos. Down the channel, down the left-hand side. No one's there to chase for Brentford. And it'll roll straight through for a throw-in for the away side. Right on that corner flag. So definitely a chance for Brentford to push up and try and win the ball back in a dangerous area on the far side. No wins in the last 3 though for Brentford against Wolves. 2 losses home and away, and then that 1-1 draw at home last season. Semedo throwing down the line, flicked on by João Gomez, helped forward by Pinnock for Brentford, but then cleared by João Gomez out towards the left to Aït-Nouri. He does head it on beyond the halfway line, but no one's there to chase for Wolves, and it'll be picked up here by Mads Roslev. Plays it onto the halfway line to Norgard, getting pressed here by Lamina, goes back to Roslev, then back once more to Collins, who finds it to the goalkeeper Flecken in the 6-yard area. Cunha will press, but Flecken will play it forward to Yarnell, then out to the right centre half Collins, who goes down the line. It's a low pass, it finds Yarmouk, who's back heel, only finds Totti Gomez for Wolves, so the away side have won it back in the opposition half. Played forward here to João Gomez, 25 yards from goal, tries to slip a ball through towards Hwang Hee-chan, who will get there, dribbles away from goal, and then lifts it towards the far post, where Sarabia tries to shoot, cleared by Lewis Potter, and then Wissa goes down under the challenge of Totti Gomez, and it'll be a free kick for Brentford. Nearly a chance for Sarabia to add to his assist. It was well worked. João Gomez is so good at those killer passes in behind. He found Hwang Hee-chan, who on the angle was forced away from goal. And then he crossed it towards the far post, and it looked like it was about to hit the left foot of Sarabia. But keen Lewis Potter came in and cleared. And that's when the free kick was won for Brentford. It's midway inside their own half here, with right centre half Nathan Collins, who's been at 4 different clubs in the last 4 years. Been at Stoke, Burnley, Wolves, and now Brentford. It's Flecken out to the left to Godos. Inside to Yarnell. Forward to Mope, who tries to turn Kilman, but he loses possession on halfway with Semedo. Lifts it down the right-hand side, finds Cunha. Good control by the Brazilian. 1-on-1 with Pinnock. Goes to his left to João Gomez. Ball forward, looking for the runner Sarabia. Cut out by Godos. Cleared by Saman Godos. And Bueno goes back to Jose Sarr, who clears it first time for Wolves out to the left-hand side. Finds Aït-Nouri, who has got his back to goal here. He's got Roslev following him. And he's keeping it away from Roslev. And it goes back to Totti Gomez at left centre half. And it'll be Wolves back in possession once again. Santiago Bueno in the centre circle for Wolves. Plays it to the right to Sarabia, being closed down by Godos. Gets the ball forward to Hwang Hee-chan. Moves it away from Pinnock. Now finds Semedo. Down the line. Lifted ball. Sarabia in the box. Lifts it to the edge of the box. Cunha controls. And shoots towards the top right corner. And it just doesn't curl in enough for him. And wide of the post it goes for Matheus Cunha. Good football again from Wolves. Working it down the right-hand side. Sarabia just lifted it into Cunha, who was able to test it bring it down with a chested touch and try to whip it into the top right corner, but didn't get the sufficient curl on the ball. As Totti Gomez heads forward, straight to the path of Hwang Hee-chan, takes it away from Pinnock and slots it home. And Wolves regain their 2-goal advantage. It's a shocking error, again from Nathan Collins, whose ball forward out from the back was met by a thumping header from Totti Gomez, which went straight into the path of Hwang Hee-chan in the box, who took on Pinnock, slotted it beyond Flecken, and it's Brentford 1, Wolves 3. Collins with the lifted ball, met by Totti Gomez ahead of Wisser, and as he headed forward, Hwang Hee-chan was just in the 18-yard area, played onside by Pinnock, who tried to come across to tackle the South Korean, but he took him on like he wasn't even there. Great touch onto his right foot, just lifting it over Pinnock, and then a low finish, I think through the legs of Flecken. Let's have a look. He watched it down, struck it through the legs of the Brentford number 1 into the bottom left corner. Thomas Frank looks emotionless on the sidelines, and after getting one back, they're down by 2 again. It's Brentford 1, Wolves 3. Hwang Hee-chan in double figures for the season in the Premier League. It's his 11th in all competitions, as he did score in their League Cup defeat to Ipswich. But it's 10 in the Premier League, and what a season the former RB Leipzig forward is having. As Brentford try and come forward again, Wisser on the edge of the box. Losing out there to João Gomes, who are on the left-hand side, clears it down the line, looking for Hwang Hee-chan, who goes down under the challenge of Collins, not seen as a foul, but Hwang Hee-chan wins it back to Totti Gomez, ball to his right, to Sarabia, forward to Cunha, tackled by Godos in the centre circle, kept by Mope, Norgard back to Godos, out to the left to Lewis Potter, and it's Brentford in the possession, with Godos, with a audacious switch out to the right-hand side, chested down by Roslev. Brentford have it in the Wolves' half. Not for long, though, as Lamina wins it back with a strong challenge, but it's a fair one. Nori to his right to Hwang Hee-chan, and then back out to the left to Lamina on halfway. And Wolves will just settle with the possession. Plenty of goals here at the G-Tech Community Stadium, as it still remains 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1 up through Mikhailo Mudryk. Kilman, fierce ball down the right-hand side, cut out there by Godos, helped back forward by Kilman. Sarabia takes on Pinnock, can't get it away from Godos. It's now the Iranian on the ball. Plays it forward to Norgard, lays it back off to Godos. He's got options left and right, not being closed down by any Wolves player, so goes to the right to Roslev. Forward and into the Wolves half with Yarmoluk. It goes back into Roslev. It's being forced back by the press of Wolves. They're not getting tight on the Brentford plays, but just forcing them backwards, cutting out the passing lanes. It's on the left to Godos, down the line. Finds Lewis Potter on halfway, on the far side. Has to go back for Godos. It goes forward nicely to Norgard. On once more to the right to Wisser. Lets it run across his body. He's got an option to the right as he tries to pass. He's brought down there by Nuri. And that'll be a free kick for Brentford. Well won by Johan Wisser, who did win and got the goal for Brentford to get them back in the game at 2-1. But now back down by 2 goals. The free kick is just to the right of the pitch. Still a bit far out for a shot. Saman Godos is over it. The Iranian who's just got the 1 goal so far this season back in mid-October against Burnley. Wolves will set up with just a 1-man wall, which kind of shows you the distance it's at. And it's too far away for a shot. It's about 30-35 yards from goal, about 15 yards away from the 18-yard area. Wolves have their line on the edge of the 18-yard box. Pinnock's in the area waiting. So is Collins. Godos will cross it in towards the far post. Well collected and caught by Jose Sarr, who rolls it out quickly to Semedo. Wolves want a counter-attack and they want a 4th goal. Semedo past the halfway line on the far side. He's got 4 bodies with him. But not many of them are available for a pass. So he goes backwards to the halfway line to Kilman. Brentford have got bodies back. Wolves have set up in their positions and they'll try and attack down the left-hand side now with Sarabia. He's got Nori to his left, plays it to the Algerian. In the final third, been forced to go backwards here to Totti Gomez. And then across to the right to Bueno. Kilman on halfway. No pressure on him, so he can play it forward and out to the right to Hwang Hee-chan, who's already got a brace today. Lays off to his right to Semedo. Back inside for Lamina. Now Hwang Hee-chan, the 2 goal scorers for Wolves, linking up. Started with Lamina with the header. And then 2 for Hwang Hee-chan since then. It's now on the left-hand side for Wolves with Totti Gomez. Nuri takes on Roslev, charging down the left-hand side. He's got a couple of bodies in the box. He'll try and find one of them. It's been cut out, though, by Pinnock on the edge of the 6-yard area. There'll be a throw-in on the near side for Wolves. It was an interception that needed to be made there by Ethan Pinnock, because Cunha was running in behind him. So Totti Gomez with a throw-in, right near the corner flag. Throws it back to Nuri. Returns it to Totti Gomez. Back to Nuri again. Nuri. Play pronunciation these days. Max Kilman. Ball over the top. Finds Nuri, who can't quite keep it in on the byline. Just run out of room. And it'll be a goal kick for Brentford. But I'm sure Gary O'Neill will be delighted. And last season, when he took on Brentford, Gary O'Neill at Bournemouth, they drew 0-0 and lost 2-0 at Brentford in January. So these goals have been his first ever goals when coming up against Brentford and Thomas Frank. It's Lewis Potter on the left-hand side. Gets around Semedo, great bit of skill. And then forward into the path of Mopé. You can't get away from Bueno. But the play continues with Yarmuluk. And then out to the right to Roslev. Wissa in the final third. He's got everything to his left here. Will he go for the cross? He'll put a low one in to Mopé, who lets it run for Lewis Potter. Deflected to Norgard on the edge of the box. Out to the left to Yarnelt. Poor touch. And he's tackled by Sarabia, but then he wins it back and lays it off to Lewis Potter. Ball dinked to the edge, to the far post, where it has been touched behind by Totti Gomez, possibly. Well worked out to the left there by Norgard, but Yarnelt lost it originally, then won it back. And it has gone for a corner. Taking short to Yarmuluk. Then back out to Wissa, whose cross deflects back to him. He gets a second bite of the cherry, and that one's blocked by Totti Gomez towards the corner flag. It's been kept in by Sarabia. He clears it away, all as far as Yarnelt on the Brentford right-hand side. And he'll recycle the ball into the box, looking for Pinnock at the far post. Heads it into the sky, and then headed away by João Gomez. Brought down by Norgard. 25 yards from goal, pokes it through towards the 18-yard box, where it deflects off Totti Gomez and into the hands of Jose Sarr. And Wolves survive another scare as Jose Sarr kicks out of his hands quickly. Towards the left-hand side, headed away by Roslev. Picked up on the halfway line by Norgard in a right-back area. He goes down the line, deflects off the foot of Nuri. And that'll be a throw-in for Brentford on the halfway line. Mads Roslev. Has the throw. It's been worked to Pinnock. Midway inside his own half. He goes out to the left-hand side here to Sam Godos, who does look like he's taking up that left-back position. And it's now with Flecken, the goalkeeper, on the penalty spot. Flecken has now conceded 25 goals this season. In his 17 Premier League games he's featured in. As his ball forward is cut out by the header of Totti Gomez. One back for Brentford. Wissa on towards Yarmuluk. Loses that to Bueno. Clearance by Norgard into Mopé, who loses that to Kilman, and then Lamina goes back to Jose Sarr in the 18-yard area, who will thump it clear out to the Wolves' right-hand side, looking towards Sarabia, header won by Godos, collected by Yarnelt, loses out in the end though, and the ball being played through to Sarabia. Options to his left, it goes to Cunha, who takes the shot on early, blocked off the head of Collins, drops to Sarabia, who strikes from afar, that's blocked by Collins as well, and then Norgard's taken down by the Spaniard, and that'll be a free kick for Brentford. Sarabia stayed down here after the shot he took. Don't know if Wolves have been given a free kick here, or play's just been stopped to see about the welfare of Sarabia. As he took the shot, a Brentford player just caught the back of his boot, which forced it to come flying off. Let's have a look at a replay here from that cross from Sarabia for the first goal. Thumping header from Lamina at the far post, went in unmarked. And the second goal was gifted literally seconds after kickoff. Collins' back pass to the goalkeeper was short. Hwang Hee-chan came in, took it around him and put it into the back of the net. But then the goal for Brentford came a minute after kick-off for them as well. Goal in by Wissa, top left corner, and then Hwang Hee-chan got a brace with Wolves' third goal as we're back underway here with Wolves with Bueno at the back. He's been tackled there and he's been fouled by Wissa, referee indicating he was pulling the shirt of the Uruguayan. And then the Wolves 18-yard area. It's with Jose Sa. Pass forward to Lamina. First time ball curling out to the right-hand side to Kilman. It gets over the head of Mope. Then Kilman volleys it forward. It's a looper up towards Hwang Hee-chan. It bounces away from Pinnock. And Hwang Hee-chan will control it with his chest. And then can't quite keep it under his spell. It's one back for Brentford. Pinnock forward to Yarnell on halfway. Out to the right-hand side to Wissa. Down the centre of the pitch, he plays it back into the path of Yarnell, whose touch is heavy. And Totti Gomez plays it back to Jose Sa. And he'll clear it first time. It's a little bit wayward and he goes out for a throw-in. Midway side, the Wolves half for the home side. Nathan Collins, ball over the top. Brought down by Wissa, outside the 18-yard area, towards the byline. He's pushed down to the ground by Totti Gomez, and that'll be a free kick for Brentford. Nice searching ball there from Collins. Wissa brought it down well. And yeah, two hands in the back from Totti Gomez. Clear foul. He shakes his head, but it's definitely a free kick. Two clear hands in the back of Johan Wissa. So Saman Ghoddos, the Iranian, is coming over to take it. Malmo born. Saman Ghoddos, born in Malmo, but switched to be an Iranian in 2017. As we're waiting for this to be taken, it's on the byline. So only a cross will do. Sarabia's the one-man wall. Ghoddos puts it in! And a free header from literally 5 yards out for Nathan Collins has gone over the crossbar. Saman Ghoddos put a great cross in. It had a lot of pace on it. And Collins, who lost his man of Totti Gomez, headed over the crossbar. Big chance for Brentford. For Nathan Collins against his former side. And after gifting Wolves their second goal, Nathan Collins could have at least started to repay the Brentford supporters back for his error. But needs to at least be getting that on target there, Nathan Collins. As Jose Sa from the goal kick out to the Wolves left. Header away by Collins. It'll be a throw-in for Wolves on the near side, just inside the Brentford half. Totti Gomez throws it down the line. It will drop towards Hwang Hee-chan, but it'll be taken away from him by Roslev, and the pass back by Collins. He's gone to the goalkeeper Flecken. First time clearance, headed away by Bueno. Headed away by Pinnock for Brentford this time. And it'll drop to Lamina. It's now João Gomez on halfway. Out to the right hand side to Sarabia. Gets it away from Ghoddos. He's got Semedo out to the right. He'll play it to him in the final third, who will not get around Lewis Potter. And he'll win a goal kick. Good defending from Keane Lewis Potter. Not letting Semedo get around him to put an easy cut back into the box for Wolves. And the goal kick goes short to Collins. The right centre half. Only 22 years of age, Nathan Collins. Got the one goal so far this season in their home win against West Ham in early November. Flecken to the right back, Roslev. Down the line to Yarmouk. And as Yarmouk received the pass on the near side, he'd ran out of pitch. And there'll be a throw-in for Wolves. Couldn't quite keep it in there. Yegor Yarmouk, current Ukrainian under-21 international. Still yet to score for Brentford. Joined back in last summer from SK Dnipro. From that throw-in. It's now back with Ait Nouri. Goes back here to Totti Gomez. On the halfway line now with Kilman. All Brentford players behind the balls. It's with Semedo at wing back. He's been forced to go backwards here through the press of Lewis Potter. It's now with Kilman, who's been forced to go backwards through the press of Mopey, but he turns him instead and then plays it forward with a right-footed pass. Cut out by Collins on halfway. It's a looper. It's chested down by Lamina. Keeps it away from Wissa. 1-2 Racuna. It's now with Mario Lamina again. Out to the left to Aitnuri. Passes the halfway line and takes on Yarmuluk. But can't get away from Norgard because he's been brought down by the Danish Brentford captain. And that'll be a free kick for Wolves. Given away by Christian Norgard. Still 1-0 at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Crystal Palace, and Everton Manchester City will be kicking off ever so shortly. So midway inside the Brentford half, it's a Wolves free kick on the left-hand side. Sarabia's come over to take it. Sarabia glides it in, headed on into the box by Wissa, towards Totti Gomez, who nods it down for Hwang Hee-chan. And on the edge of the box, he loses out. And as he clears there, Yarnelt, it comes off the hand of Hwang Hee-chan. And it'll be a free kick for Brentford on the edge of the 18-yard box. Hwang Hee-chan had gone the last 3 without a goal. Now he's back with a brace. As Brentford play it forward, Mopey goes over the challenge of Semedo. And in the centre circle, that'll be a free kick for the home side. Play forward to Norgard. It's now with Yarnell inside his own half. Squares it to Pinnock. Out to the right to Ruzlev. Down the right-hand side. It gives something for Yarmuluk to chase. Lamina will get there ahead of him. And he'll go across his 6-yard box for Jose Sarr to clear first time. Up towards the halfway. Controlled by Collins, but it's a heavy touch, but he keeps it away from Sarabia. And he works out to the left-hand side to Godos. In the final third. Not got many options with him, so goes back to Yarnell. Goes to his right to Pinnock. Forward to Mopey. Can't turn away from João Gomez. And the Wolves counter could be on, but the João Gomez pass out to the right comes off the back of the head of Hwang Hee-chan. And it's Brentford's come forward again in the Wolves half. On the far side. Yarnell to his right to Wissa. 25 yards from goal. He's got options to his right. He plays it through towards Ruzlev. Down the line for Yarmuluk. Then backwards here to Collins. Norgard. 15-yard pass to his left to Pinnock. Godos. All Wolves plays behind the ball as we've got 5 minutes of additional time here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Furthest left here is Godos. Goes across into the right to Norgard. He's just sat in between the 2 centre-halves currently. As he plays it to his right to Collins. Forward to Yarmuluk. 1-2 with Wissa. Yarmuluk's passes are a little bit late. But then it's given away by Cunha anyway. And Brentford are back in possession once again. It's Lewis Potter on the left. Back to Yarnell. Swings across in. It's a dangerous one. It's a header won by Wissa. And it loops into the hands of Jose Sarr. I think Johan Wissa headed it maybe off the back of a Wolves player. And it meant it was an easy catch in the end for Jose Sarr. As we've got 4 minutes of the additional time left. Jose Sarr clears it out of his hands with his foot. Headed on by Hwang Hee-chan. Just gets away from Sarabia, but he wins it ahead of Yarnell. It's now João Gomez in the centre circle. Out to the left to Cunha. In the Brentford half, it's Aitnuri. Down the line again to Cunha, who gets away from Mads Ruzlev on the byline. In the box. Can he find the pullback? No, he can't. Tackle by Ruzlev from behind. And that'll be a corner kick on the near side for Wolves. Good defending there by Ruzlev. As this is a bit of bad news here. It's Hwang Hee-chan. He's just gone down here for Wolves, and now he's back on his feet, the South Korean. So hopefully that isn't anything serious, and he can stay on the pitch for Wolverhampton Wanderers. It's going to be an in-swing. It's going to be an outswinger from Pablo Sarabia, left-footed on the near side. Can he work more magic? Sarabia with the cross, headed away by Collins to the far post, where it will be picked up by João Gomez outside the 18-yard area. Can he recycle it back in the box? Can't do so. Ends up going back to the halfway line to Semedo, who will launch it forward with a ball. Look for Totti Gomez. Goes over his head and Ruzlev. And it'll be picked up on the far side by Sarabia, who is coming back from an offside position. So it'll be a free kick for Brentford. It's now Godos on halfway. Forward for Lewis Potter. He's got Mopé to his right. He's running at Semedo. Just over 2 minutes to go in the half. Potter lays it off to the edge of the box to Yarnell. Back out to the left to Godos. Right-footed. Crosses it. Far post. Header won by Totti Gomez. And it'll be Aït-Nouri to get there ahead of Yarmouk. And Aït-Nouri will charge forward. Goes on the inside to Cunha. And Hwang Hee-chan has gone down again for Wolves. Sarabia has a 1-2 with Cunha. And then he loses it in the end to Yarnell on halfway. Returns the ball to Yarnell by Collins. It's now Mopé. Try to dribble out towards the right-hand side. Cut out by João Gomez. And then it's just battered to the out of play by Aït-Nouri as he realises his teammate is still on the ground. As at the minute, Gary O'Neill is in conversation with his assistant Tim Jenkins and other coach Sean Derry. This is not a great look for Hwang Hee-chan. He went down just a few minutes ago holding his back, or maybe his left hip. It's either his left hip or the left side of his lower back. And Hwang Hee-chan, who's got 2 goals so far this season, it came after just going into the front of Ethan Pinnock after winning the flick on a few moments ago. But Hwang Hee-chan's 2 goals tonight has put him on 10 for the season. He'd only had 2 in his last 6 and he hadn't scored in any of his last 3. And he's just currently getting some treatment on the pitch here. Hwang Hee-chan, the 27-year-old South Korean, who did in fact score in the last meeting between these two in April. He scored the second in a 2-0 victory at Molineux. So we just get a bit of stoppage here for Hwang Hee-chan at Stamford Bridge. It is 1-1, equaliser from Crystal Palace. Michael Elise in the first minute of added on time, which is very interesting because obviously Chelsea were highly interested in Elise in the summer before he signed a new deal at Crystal Palace. And Everton, Manchester City have been playing 8 minutes, and that is 0-0 at Goodison. No Diaz, Haaland or Doku for Manchester City. As it does look like Hwang Hee-chan's game is run. Picking up a back injury or might be even a hip injury after just colliding into Ethan Pinnock, which is a shame because Hwang Hee-chan was on for his hat-trick. But it looks like he's going to be replaced here. Bit of a different type of player. It looks like they're going to bring on a central midfielder. Looks like it's going to be Jean Rickner Bellegarde to come on, the 25-year-old French central midfielder. Just that might allow the likes of Mario Lemina and João Gomez to get further forward from midfield. As Hwang Hee-chan is just slowly hobbling off the pitch, obviously feeling some discomfort in his lower back. And Hwang Hee-chan will be replaced. What an unfortunate turn of events for the South Korean. Who put Wolves 2-0 up and then 3-1 up. Scoring straight after the first one from kickoff. And then scoring the third goal in the 28th minute. But right on half-time, it'll be Hwang Hee-chan to have to come off the field. And he'll be replaced by number 27, Jean Rickner Bellegarde, joined in the summer from Strasbourg for just under £13 million. He does have the 1 goal in the league this season in early November away at Sheffield United, which did end in defeat for Wolves as we restart with Brentford throwing it back to Totti Gomez. Clearance deflects straight into Norgard, worked out to the right hand side to Wissa in the final third. Going on the inside here, Wissa, then rouletting beyond Lemina, but then getting thumped away by Cunha, but only as far as Collins. Out to the right to Roerslev, towards the corner flag on the near side, can't chop past Gomez. Last touch off the Brentford man, and that'll be a throw-in for the away side. Last touch off Roerslev there. Right next to the corner flag, so Brentford could still win the ball in a decent position here. Throwing down the line by Totti Gomez, headed forward by Norgard for Brentford. Chesty touched by Yarmuluk. Ball inside to Yarnell. Back out to the right to Roslev. Lifted ball into the box. Headed away by Totti Gomez. Helped back forward by Roslev. And then once more by Yarmuluk. Wissa dispossessed by Bellegarde. And then one back here by Yarmuluk. What a bit of skill that is. Works out to the right to Roslev. Crosses it to the edge of the box. Maupay. Ball forward. What a ball that is. Wissa squares it. Maupay needs to finish. And he gets it wide with the left foot. That's got to go in. Well worked by Yarmuluk on the right-hand side to find Roslev. His ball out to the edge of the box was helped back in by Maupay. It was a great ball to Wissa. And then as Wissa pulled it across, it fell to Maupay, who off balance with his left foot struck wide of the post. And that was the combination for Brentford's first and only goal. Maupay forward into the box for Wissa, who finished. And instead of finishing this time, Wissa decided to try and square the ball. But Maupay couldn't add the finishing touch. So it remains 3-1. We had 5 minutes of added on time, but we just had Hwang Hee-chan come off with an injury, so we might play a couple more minutes maybe. It's all down to the discretion of Andy Madley, tonight's referee, as Jose Sarr sends that goal kick into the Brentford half, and that is where we will get the half-time whistle. What a chaotic first half of football at the G-Tech Community Stadium. The goal scoring started in the 13th minute through Mario Lemina as Pablo Sarabia put in a cross from what was originally a corner. The ball was cleared by Brentford straight back out to him on the left-hand side, and he put a wicked left-footed cross into the far post, where in the 6-yard area, Lemina had a free header to guide it into the far right-hand side of the goal, and that made it 1-0, and within seconds from kick-off, it was 2. The ball was played to Nathan Collins at the back for Brentford, who tried to go back to his own goalkeeper on the edge of the 18-yard box. It was a short pass from the former Wolves centre-half, and it was picked up by Hwang Hee-chan, who went around the goalkeeper and played it into an empty goal. So it was a goal in the 13th minute and the 14th minute for Wolves, but then they were cut back to a 1-goal deficit as Brentford scored in the 16th minute, very soon after Wolves' 2 goals that they'd scored. It was Johan Wissa linking up with Neil Maupay. It was a great ball from the Frenchman, and then the DR Congo forward slotted it into the top left corner beyond Jose Sarr, and that gave Brentford a lifeline back in the game almost immediately. But then that 1-goal advantage for Wolves was restored back to 2 just under half an hour in. Hwang Hee-chan with his second of the game. It was a beautiful ball through to him by Totti Gomez, who headed forward a Nathan Collins clearance, and in the 18-yard area, Hwang Hee-chan just lifted it away from Pinnock, under and in between the legs of Mark Flecken, and it was a superb finish from the South Korean, who unfortunately has had to go off before the end of the half-time break there. Looks like a lower back or possibly a hip injury. So the South Korean won't be featuring in the second half, but he has done his job so far in the first half with those 2 goals. And after the first half at the G-Tech Community Stadium, it is Brentford 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 3. What a first half of football. Fantastic watch as a neutral, as it's definitely Brentford who've got themselves to blame for some of the goals they conceded. You know, you can definitely pinpoint mistakes from all the goals. I think the first one was just a fantastic cross and a well-timed run by Lemina. But the second goal was obviously a horrendous back pass from Collins. And then the third goal was a really bad clearance from Collins again, just sending it down the right channel. It was a header forward by Totti Gomez, and his header was that big. It went straight through into the 18-yard box, where Hwang Hee-chan picked up the ball, took on Pinnock and slotted it home. So definitely 2 of the 3 goals from Wolves could have been avoided by Brentford if Nathan Collins was just more on it. But the former Wolves player maybe tried to over-impress against his former side. I don't know, but he's cost his team today, and they're 3-1 down at half-time. Thanks to everyone who is here. If you can like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Celtic Rangers commentary coming up in 2 days, and then in 3 days time, and then we've got New Year's Eve commentary, Fulham against Arsenal, and then we've got loads coming up in the month of January. So you've got loads of reason to subscribe, and liking also helps the channel out massively. And while we've got this half-time break, we will turn over and we will have a watch of Everton against Manchester City, who kicked off at 8:15. So they will be about 15 minutes in here at Goodison Park. And the scoreline is, as we load it up, it is still 0-0. As Manchester City representing the Club World Cup victory with the badge on their shirt tonight. As Grealish driving down the left-hand side, playing it through for Alvarez. On once more for Núñez. In the box. He needs to score. Saved by Pickford, and the rebound saved again. What a chance that is for Manchester City to take the lead. Matheus Núñez from Wolves previously got to score. Alvarez played it through to him, and just on the edge of the box he struck it. It was a low one. It was an easy save for Pickford, but the second save from the England number one was probably the best of the lot. Alvarez tried to go back across goal, and it was just seen behind by Pickford. Good save from England's number one, but Matheus Núñez on the first attempt has got to score as the corner goes in from Bernardo Silva. Header won by Tarkowski, headed away by Gardner towards the halfway line where Grealish will force it back here to Ederson in the Manchester City goal. But as we turn over, that's a huge chance for Manchester City and Matheus Núñez, who obviously joined from Wolves in the summer, leaving Wolves for £53 million. They made a lot of money in the summer, Wolves, in the side, obviously selling Núñez to City for £53 million, then Neves for £47 million, and then Nathan Collins as well, who is playing for Brentford tonight. They sold him for £23 million. Also losing the likes of Cody and Jimenez and Giles on free, so they ended up getting about £145 million from sales, Wolves, which they needed because I know they were under a little bit of tension for FFP. As City playing out from the back, it's risky, nearly losing it there with Rodri in the 18-yard area, but they get it down the right-hand side here to Julian Alvarez, who they'll be calling upon to score the goals tonight. City, as they are without Erling Haaland. Everton have won it back, but then they lose it with McNeil. Heavy touch out of play on the near side. Throw in for City. But also, I was checking. I missed his game again and I was fuming because I wanted to watch him. I haven't really watched him properly, but if you watch the darts, if you're not interested, then that's fine. But in the darts, Luke Littler, the 16-year-old, has won again. So he's into the last 16 now, which, yeah, quite ironic, the 16-year-old in the last 16. But I don't mind missing the darts when I've been treated to a 45 minutes like we have been at the G-Tech Community Stadium. 4 goals, which is absolutely brilliant, and we cannot complain in the slightest. Bernardo Silva, touch, can't quite get beyond Mikalenko, clears it down the line, controlled by McNeil. Back to the edge of the 18-yard box here for Branthwaite. It's now with Pickford. Thanks to everyone who's here. Make sure you stick around, liking and subscribing. We've got 10 likes, which is fantastic to see. Grealish, ball inside to Rodri, midway inside the Everton half. About 25 yards out now. He'll want to strike it. It's blocked by McNeil. Drops to Andre Gomez, who seems like he's back for Everton, which is nice to see. But he's searching ball up towards Beto. It goes nowhere near the Everton striker. And it's back with City in their own half. Going back to the game that we're covering, Brentford Wolves, you know, interestingly, just over 10 years ago, these two teams faced each other in League One. The game at Molineux was 0-0 back in late November, and then that was the last fixture in late November, and that was the season where they were actually both promoted from League One just over 10 years ago. Wolves went up as champions that season, the 2013-2014 season, and then Brentford finished second. So they both got promoted into the Championship, where in the first season back in the Championship, Brentford finished 5th and Wolves finished 7th. And then Wolves did return back to the Premier League for the 18-19 season. Brentford got into the Premier League in the 2020-2021 season. It was a great promotion for Brentford. Obviously, after being out of the top flight for so long, you know, it was their first season back in the Premier League since 1947. Everton got a free kick here in the box by Gomez, met by Ederson, volleyed away by Bernardo Silva. So definitely it'll be a challenging game for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola after Aston Villa losing. And Liverpool winning, even more the reason for Manchester City to need to win this game to get points on the board, to climb back up the table. As if the result stays the same in our game, Wolves will go up to 11th. If they score one more, Wolves will go into the top half on goal difference ahead of Bournemouth. So Wolves could go up to 10th and Brentford will stay in 14th. But if Palace win and if Everton win, they could drop all the way to 16th, Brentford. You've got to remember, Brentford are only 4 points off the drop at the minute. 4 points ahead of Luton, who take up that 18th spot in the Premier League. So it's all very close and congested in separate parts of the league as we are close to entering 2024. City lose it in their own half. It's deep in their own half as well. Anana forward to Gomez, can't head it on. Cut out by Rodri. Mateus Nunes will play it out to the right hand side here to Bernardo Silva. Charge on here for Manchester City. Just slow the attack down now with Walker. Do need to remember we have got our game on as well, but obviously our half-time break came a little bit late after, I think it was 10 minutes added on in the end played due to an injury from Hwang Chan. Looks like it was a lower back / hip injury. Couldn't quite make out what it was. It was definitely on his left side, the pain. But we kicked off at 7:30, so 7:15 and then 7:30. No, so 7:15 would be half time. So 25. Yeah, so the second half of our game will be getting back underway in around 4-5 minutes time. If you've got any score predictions for the second half, you can put them in the chat. And I can always have a look and see what you guys think. Could we get a Brentford comeback, or will Leeds? Because I commentated on Leeds the other day. Well, I don't know why they were in my head. Or can Wolves add to their lead? That's what I meant to say. Can Wolves add to their lead? And I ended up saying Leeds. Chelsea and Palace are back underway at Stamford Bridge. Still 1-1. A win for Manchester City would bump them up to 4th above Spurs, who have obviously got to play their game tomorrow against Brighton. But a win for Manchester City put them on 37 points. They'd be 2 behind Aston Villa. They'd be 3 behind Arsenal. And then they'd be 5 behind Liverpool. And they'd have a game in hand on Liverpool as well. So, like I say, very close at the top. I think we'll get a superb running at the top of the table this season with multiple teams involved. We'll have to see what happens with the relegation zone, because obviously Luton are not giving up their fight. They're doing fantastically at the minute under Rob Edwards, getting a fantastic win the other day against Sheffield United away from home. Those 2 own goals that got them the win. Obviously back-to-back wins as well for Luton, isn't it? Because they were able to take 3 points off Newcastle. So I hope Luton stay up. I really hope Luton stay up. It'd be a great story, because you might remember Rob Edwards being sacked very early at Watford last season. And we know it's Watford, isn't it? We know that's what they're about, especially in recent times. So and that can knock a coach's confidence. But obviously he was given the Luton job after Nathan Jones left for Southampton. Obviously that didn't work out for him, but he took on that Luton job where they were high in the table, so it was kind of like a lose, not a lose, but if you take on a team that's high up and then you end up sending them further down, you really questioned, a bit like Wayne Rooney at the minute, but he took them on, adjusted his tactics a bit. Rob Edwards does prefer a bit more free flowing football with his side when he won promotion to League One with Forest Green, but he adjusted a little bit, played to the strengths of Luton, and look where they are now. It's Grealish in the 18-yard box. Chance pokes it towards goal. Saved by Pickford. Rebound for Nunez. Plays it to the right to Bernardo Silva. Lifts it to the far post. Headed away for Everton by Patterson. Kept alive by Ake. We'll just see this attack and then we'll switch back over for the second half. It's Bernardo Silva. Back to Walker. Great teasing cross in, but it's gone straight through for Pickford. No one made a run. So at Goodison it remains 0-0. And at Stamford Bridge it is 1-1. And then at our game, Brentford against Wolves, it is still 3-1 to the away side. David Holden, brilliant commentary. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I hope everyone is enjoying the live commentary of Brentford against Wolves as we're about to get back underway for the second half. Obviously, plenty more commentaries coming from now till the end of the season. Then obviously we've got the Euros as well coming up in the summer. So it's been a fantastic season so far for the channel. Let's hope it continues. As the Wolves players are re-entering the field after a half-time chat with their head coach Gary O'Neill. It looks like Brentford are going to make changes here. It looks like one of them is going to be Mikkel Damsgaard, who was dropped to the bench. One of 3 changes made from their last starting 11 against Aston Villa. I'm not quite sure who Damsgaard will be coming on for. Simon Hooper puts up the board, and it will be number 33, Yegor Yarmolenko, who is coming off, the Ukrainian, who I don't think had a terrible half, in fairness, for Brentford. I think he had moments of brilliance, but Thomas Frank thinks a change is needed, so Mikkel Damsgaard will come on, who signed in the summer of last season from Sampdoria, and he's still yet to score for Brentford, coming on for the 3rd time against Wolves in his career, yet to start against the away side, as it'll be Wolves kicking left to right towards their away support in that far left corner of the stands, and then Brentford right to left, right behind their home support, as Mope heads on towards Wissa, goes over his head, collected by Totti Gomez, who clears down the Brentford Wolves left. Poor ball by Damsgaard, but then he cuts out a poor ball from Sarabia, and it's now with Damsgaard on the Brentford right inside his own half. He goes back here to Collins to keep possession, and he goes back once more to goalkeeper Flecken. Quickly sends it out to the left, looking for Yarnell, overhits it, thrown for Wolves on the near side. Midway inside the Brentford half. Needs to have his distribution a bit better than that. Mark Flecken, the 30-year-old Dutch goalkeeper. It's Semedo with the throw in for Wolves. He wants to go down the line, and he will throw it to João Gomez, who tries to take on Yarnell. Dispossessed, and it'll be Lewis Potter to clear for Brentford. Up towards Wissa, headed forward by Totti Gomez. Helped on by Cunha down the Wolves' right-hand side, but no one's there to chase it. We've seen through for Yarnell on the corner flag, who keeps it in, and then plays it forward to Norgard. Left-footed ball down the line. It deflects off João Gomez, and it will bounce out for a goal kick in the end for Brentford. They haven't got many attacking changes off the bench, Brentford. They've already used one of their main ones in Mikkel Damsgaard. You might remember his free kick against England in the Euros semi-final for Denmark. It was an absolute thumper to make it 1-0 that day. There's Aït-Nouri for Wolves. Will chase this ball down, but it'll be Mope to get there ahead of him. Mope forward into the box for Wissa. On the byline, he needs to cut back. It's a good one, and it goes all the way through. And it's nearly squeezed home by Lewis Potter. He couldn't quite connect with it. And it rolled into the hands of Jose Sarr. It was well won off Aït-Nouri there by Mope, who went forward to Wissa, who got it through the legs of Kilman. It was poked forward by Damsgaard. But the Damsgaard poke was weak, and then it nearly went through to Lewis Potter. Well, it did go through to Lewis Potter, but his contact wasn't very strong, and it was an easy, comfortable save in the end for Sarr, as it's already back with Brentford, with Mope being taken down this time by João Gomez on the Brentford left. And he'll escape a booking, but it will be a free kick for the home side. About midway inside the Wolves' half, if they could get an early goal here, Brentford make it 3-2. Could have a real game on our hands here for the second 45 minutes. As Everton lead Manchester City at Goodison Park. Jack Harrison with the goal, former Manchester City player who's formerly on the books of Manchester City, I think. Pretty sure. Godos, the cross is a deep one. It's so overhit. Straight through for a goal kick. It needs to be a better delivery there from Sam and Godos. So deep into the area. And it was too much to ask for someone to get on the end of it. But Wolves will enjoy those crosses if it means they don't have to do anything in terms of defending them. You can just see them through, nice and calm. Jose Sarr will take the resulting goal kick. Fires it forward. It's a high one into the Brentford half. Header won by Norgard, the captain. Followed forward by Totti Gomez. Helped on by Nouri. It'll be chased down here by Bellegarde, who was just stopped in his tracks there by Ethan Pinnock. But there'll be a free kick for Wolves on the left-hand side as Bellegarde was charging towards the ball. He was just pulled back there, which allowed Ethan Pinnock to get there first. And Andy Madley tried to play the advantage, but none was there, so he's pulled it back for the free kick. And it's a pretty similar position for Wolves. About midway inside the Brentford half, on the left-hand side, it'll be a left footer to take it, though, not a right footer. It'll be the left foot of Sarabia, who'll put the ball into the 18-yard area. It's a teasing one. It drops in the box. It's hooked away by Damsgaard. Helped back forward for Wolves. Dropped towards Bueno. Cleared by a Brentford man. Always by Semedo on halfway, who loops it into the sky. Headed forward by Godos. It'll be volleyed forward by João Gomez, and no one's there to track it down for Wolves, and it'll be collected by the hands of Flecken. Rolls it out quickly to Yarnell, who looks like he's gone to the left-back position now for the second half, and Godos more in a midfield area. Yes, timer back. Thank you very much for reminding me. Honestly, if you're ever in one of my streams and the timer's not on, you've got to remind me, because I just forget. As Godos, fed down the left-hand side, cuts it through the box, and it's a dangerous one. It's cleared behind for a corner by Nouri. But someone's got to be meeting that cross there. It's a real teaser from Godos, who was fed down the left channel there by Mope. His passing's been on point today. The loanee from Everton. It goes straight through the 6-yard box, but no one was able to get on the end of it for Brentford. Just over 5 minutes into this second half, there's a Brentford corner to be taken. It'll be an outswinger from the right foot of Godos. In it goes. Header away, though, by Bueno. It'll drop towards the edge of the 18-yard box where it's been controlled by Nouri. Forward for João Gomez. On once more to Bellegarde on the right wing position. Tries to go around the outside of Roslev, who's been bundled to the ground fairly, says the referee. And it'll be a throw-in for Brentford on the near side. Mope again down that right-hand side. Keeps it away from João Gomez, but then Lewis Potter loses out to the Wolves midfielder, who clears it down the right-hand side up towards halfway. Chested down by Sarabia. Finds Bellegarde, who keeps it away from Mope. Bellegarde away from Godos, and then playing it to his left to Cunha, who plays it back into the path of Bellegarde. A great run from the number 27. Bellegarde laying it off to his left to Nouri. Edge of the 18-yard box. He will cross it straight into the hands of Mark Flecken, and he'll roll it out quickly now for Brentford to start an attack with Norgard. Works it to the left to Lewis Potter. Gets beyond the halfway line. Gets onto his right foot, away from João Gomez, dinking it forward for Wissa. Can't quite take it down there in the end, and it'll be taken away by Wolves through Santiago Bueno. It's now Sarabia, ball through towards Cunha, can't quite get there ahead of Pinnock, and he goes back into his 18-yard box with a pass to Flecken. Joe Got Alive, amazing subscribe. Thank you very much, everyone who's subscribing and liking. It is more than appreciated. You do not understand how much it helps the channel out. All of you subscribing, watching, and everything that you do to help support, because I'm very close to be able to apply for I think it's a YouTube partner or something like that, which can maybe help bring some money in, which would be really good for the channel, but we'll wait and see. There's Godos, what a curling ball that is into the channel. Lewis Potter squares it across, and no one's there to attack it at the far post at the edge of the 18-yard box. That's such a good cross. No one's there. But Brentford are definitely piling the pressure on at the start of this second half, as obviously they are 2 goals down, so as I mentioned before, bit of a mountain to climb. But the last Brentford win at home against Wolves was 5 home games ago against them. It was a 3-0 win in the Championship in February 2016. So they don't usually win against Wolves, especially at home. As it'll be a long throw-in on this far side from Roslev. Throws it into the 18-yard area. Header away. Always met by the edge of the box with a shot from Lewis Potter. And it deflected into the hands of Jose Sarr. It was headed away by Kilman. Volleyed by Lewis Potter, and it deflected off Mope. Straight down the throat of Sarr. And it'll be Wolves to have possession. Midway inside their own half here. Now back on the edge of the 18-yard box with Bueno. To the right to Kilman. Dribbles beyond Damsgaard. Plays a high ball over the top, looking for Bellegarde, who will control it, but straight into the path of Lewis Potter, who scoops it forward on the halfway line. Nodded down by Norsgaard into Damsgaard. Down the line for Mopay, who's been brought down with a huge sliding challenge from Kilman. And that'll definitely be a booking for the Wolves captain. That's his 4th of the season. And I love it when a stat comes together. Kilman has now been booked 4 times, and they've all been booked against teams beginning with B. He's been booked against Brighton, Bournemouth, Burnley and Brentford. What a stat that is. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed that one. So a booking for Kilman. It's his 4th of the season, and they've all come against teams starting with the letter B. What a stat. Love that. I knew there was a reason I wrote that one down. It's still 1-1 between Chelsea and Palace at Stamford Bridge. Everton still lead 1-0 against Manchester City at Goodison. As Neal Maupay still down from this challenge, but he's been helped back to his feet here by Godos. And it'll be a free kick for Brentford on the left-hand side. It was a big challenge from Kilman. He just caught his left foot. Didn't catch much of Maupay, but yeah, just flipped his left boot. And certainly didn't get any of the ball. So we Godos again, who had the last free kick in a similar area. He goes across to his right to Damsgaard, who will then float it into the far post. Headed into the box by Collins. It drops towards Pinnock, whose shot's blocked by Kilman. Still alive. Norgard. His shot blocked, and it falls to Godos. Down the line to Lewis Potter. He tries to take on Bellegarde towards the corner flag on the near side. Playing inside. What a ball that is. Norgard. 1-on-1 with Totti Gomez. He plays it into the box. It's cleared by the left boot of Semedo. Drops to Bellegarde in the right back position. Goes down the line to Sarabia, who runs out of pitch on the Wolves' right. And that'll be a throw-in for Brentford. As there's a bit of afters here between Lewis Potter and Sarabia. Sarabia just ran out of pitch there on the left-hand side. I think Andy Madley just dealt with any little tension that was building between Sarabia and Lewis Potter. And it'll be a throw-in on this near side with Mads Roerslev, who we know can throw it long. He has got a few shorter options, but they've all moved to go a bit longer. Need to try and make one of these work. Throwing goes in towards the near post. Flicked on and headed away by Lamina. All as far as the edge of the box where Yarnell helps it back into the box. Norgard eventually volleyed away by Lamina. Straight through into the Brentford half for the goalkeeper Mark Flecken to have the ball towards the halfway line. He sends it back forward immediately. It's a high one. It's a header away by Kilman. And an offside flag's gone up there on, I think, Maupay. As Flecken cleared it long. And again, chance for Wolves just to breathe ever so slightly, because they've been under the cosh since the half-time break. And it'll be Jose Sarr, about 10 yards in front of his 18-yard box. He'll send this free kick high into the Brentford half. It'll be headed away by Nathan Collins, picked up by Lamina, who's passed forward, sliced out to the right-hand side, volleyed away by Godos, over the top of the Wolves' defence, where Kilman will get there first, and play out to the left to Totti Gomez. Lamina, midway side his own half, he goes forward here to Ait Nouri, who turns away from Roerslev, and eventually wins it back Roerslev from behind. A really good slide challenge there from the Danish full-back. And it'll be Brentford back on the ball, inside their own half here with Pinnock. Nice ball forward to Maupay, who has been forced back to go to Flecken, as he's been followed there by Bueno, the central centre-half in the back three for Wolves tonight. High ball down the right channel for Brentford up towards Wisser. Header away by Kilman. Totti Gomez. He's got Damsgaard on his back. He lays it off into Kilman, who clears it down the line. Beyond the halfway line, where it will be collected and played back to the goalkeeper by Ethan Pinnock. And Brentford have the ball again. And here he is in his full pink kit tonight. Mark Flecken, the goalkeeper. 3 clean sheets for him so far this season. Just the one at home against Burnley. back in late October. And like I say, Brentford have been doing okay at home as well recently. They'd won 3 in a row at home before the defeat to Aston Villa. But they are currently on a run of just 1 win in their last 6. And that did come against Luton at home, which isn't a bad result because we know Luton can be pretty difficult to beat at times. Brentford have got a free kick here on the near side, left back area, taking quickly by Mopé, just clipping out to the right hand side here to Collins. It's now Godos. Norgard pokes it forward to Godos in the centre circle. Halfway line is now Collins. Back forward to Norgard again. Laid it off to Godos. Tries to keep it moving. Lays it off to Pinnock. Out to the left to Yarnell. Just inside his own half here on the near side. Goes down the line. Finds Lewis Potter, who pokes it through towards Mopé. Cut out by João Gomez. Now Semedo sending it down the Wolves' right. Cunha will chase it. Pinnock will get there before him and he'll play it out to the left to Yarnell. Brentford immediately back on the ball. We're just over half an hour to play here. Still 3-1. Wolves have a lead that isn't too comfortable. They have been under the cosh though for the last 15 minutes of this game. On the halfway line, it's Norgard playing it forward to Mopé. He's looking out to the right hand side. Plays a simple ball back to Collins on halfway. Then forward to Roslev. Moving it away from Aït-Nouri. It goes back here to Nathan Collins, who has signed a 6-year contract here at Brentford when joining in the summer. As the ball's been switched out to the left-hand side here to Yarnell. Further left is Lewis Potter in the final third. He's one-on-one with Semedo. Every time he wants to go onto the right foot, he plays it across to Damsgaard, who knocks it in towards Lewis Potter, falls back to Damsgaard as the header away from Bueno isn't that great. And then Damsgaard goes over the challenge of Semedo. Seen behind for a goal kick. No real appeals there for a penalty by Mikel Damsgaard, who tried the 1-2 with Yarnell, and just before that he tried a dinked ball through him behind for Lewis Potter, but that didn't quite come off for him. So we've got under half an hour to play now. Still Brentford 1, Wolves 3. Still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge between Chelsea and Crystal Palace, and Everton still have the lead at Goodison against Manchester City. Jose Sarr, goal kick. It's headed away by Pinnock into the Wolves half towards Mopé. Header won by Kilman, headed back forward by Yarnell, volleyed by Bueno. Out to the Wolves right, controlled really well by Sarabia. Then inside to Cunha, chests it down brilliantly, and he even gets a back heel involved to Sarabia. It goes back to the halfway line to Semedo on the near side. To his left to Lamina. Back to Kilman. Back out to the right to Semedo. Back to Kilman. It just about stays in. And he clears it high. Controlled by Yarnell. Given away by Wolves. Couldn't quite find Sarabia. Matheus Cunha definitely wasn't happy with that Max Kilman clearance. And with Brentford to have possession once again with Christian Norgard, who was, interestingly enough, a Real Madrid supporter, the Danish midfielder, when growing up, and he had his idol, Zinedine Zidane. Not quite a Zidane-like player, Norgard, more of a holding midfielder, breaking up playing. But he does like finding those passes in between the lines, as he's passed there to Mopé. Did reach the Frenchman, but he loses out in the Wolves midfield. And it's now in the halfway line with João Gomez to Totti Gomez. Forward and out to the left to Aït-Nouri. Ball to his right to Bellegarde. Turns and looks forward. Plays it through for Lamina in the box on the left-hand side. Tight angle, but he's been caught offside there. And that'll be a free kick for Brentford. Just needed to time his run a little bit better there, Lamina. As it looks like Wolves are going to make a double change here with Tommy Doyle and Matt Doherty. But more on that in a few minutes. Brentford build out from the back with right centre half Nathan Collins. Ball forward towards Mopé, cut out by Kilman. Headed away by Godos to the left to Yarnell. Takes a touch forward on the halfway line. He plays the ball forward to Lewis Potter. Drives inside. Away from João Gomez, curling it out to the right. Short ball, cut out too easily there for Aït-Nouri. And he goes down the left-hand side to Bellegarde. Charging forward, the man who replaced Hwang Hee-chan at the end of the first half. Towards the final third, he's been forced to turn backwards here. He keeps it away from Damsgaard. And he finds Aït-Nouri. He's now back in the Wolves half here with Bueno. To his right, he finds number 23, Max Kilman. into the centre circle to Lamina. Works it to the right to João Gomez. On once more to Semedo. Running here at Yarnell. He'll go on the outside of the German. And he'll try a cross, which comes off Yarnell. And he'll be throwing in the final third here for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Who are still yet to make those changes. Oh, and I've spoke too soon. They're now going to make those changes. Number 21, Pablo Sarabia, will be replaced here by number 20, Tommy Doyle, joined in the summer from Manchester City with an option to buy of just over £4 million. Sarabia, the assist maker. For the first goal, for Mario Lemina, it was a wicked cross into the far post. And Matt Doherty will be coming on as well, and he will be replacing Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side. So it's a like-for-like for Doherty and Semedo. And a bit of a change here for Wolves, packing out that midfield even more, replacing Sarabia with a central midfielder, and that's Tommy Doyle. As Tommy Doyle just passes a note there to someone with a bit of writing on. Well, obviously he's going to have writing on, but he's passed a note to someone on the pitch. I couldn't quite see who he passed it to. But from this throwing for Wolves, bit of movement here from the likes of Doyle, João Gomez and Cunha. He throws it in the end to Cunha, gets the return Doherty, plays it down the line, can't find João Gomez, chopped beyond Doherty there by Godos, and then he clears it down the Brentford left. It'll go straight through for Totti Gomez, nowhere there for Brentford to chase. But Matt Doherty did seal the points for Wolves in that game against Chelsea last time out, scoring in the 93rd minute to make it 2-0. Obviously Wolves did concede in the 96th, but they were able to see it through. There's a ball through down the left-hand side, and Bellegarde will get there ahead of Collins. What a bit of pace that is. Inside to Cunha, away from Norgard. Now with Tommy Doyle, 25 yards from goal. Plays it to the right to Kilman, who's galloped forward from the right centre-back. And he lays it off to Doherty. And back into Kilman in the final third. Dribbles past Mope, and then goes to his left to Bueno. And then back here to Totti Gomez on halfway. Lamina. Out to the left to Aït-Nouri. He's got Bellegarde down the line. He's got Cunha inside. He goes to Cunha, then returns it to Aït-Nouri. He dribbles past one Brentford player and a second. Great running. Aït-Nouri from afar tries to dink it through into the box towards Cunha. And it's just over here, collected by Flecken. Possibly could have gone on his own there. Aït-Nouri, the Algerian wing-back. That would have been his first goal of the season. He's not scored since Boxing Day last year in a 2-1 win against Everton. But opted to go for the pass, which didn't quite work out for him. And Brentford again, they need to get this second goal sooner rather than later if they want to try and mount a comeback. Godos turning away from Lamina. On halfway, he releases it to his right to Damsgaard. Switches it to the left. And he finds Lewis Potter. Yarnell's starting an overlapping run, but Lewis Potter goes on his own and crosses it to the far post, and it just goes beyond Roerslev, who is sliding towards it. But the ball just had too much pace, and he goes behind for a goal kick. Again, a very teasing ball there by Keane Lewis Potter, who's now been at the club for just over a season and a half. Joined from Hull for £16 million, and he got his first Premier League goal in their last game. There's Roerslev. That will be his last action. Try to get on the end of that cross. He'll be replaced by Matthias Jensen, who has missed the last 5 games through injury. His last appearance was against Liverpool in mid-November. So he's been a big miss, but he's back into the midfield. And can he help Brentford try and get back in this game with a goal, which would put them one away from an equaliser? As Wolves have it just inside their own half. Doherty, ball forward, cut out by Lewis Potter. Mope, back to Jensen, forward to Damsgaard, back to Norgard, who shifts it out to the left to Yarnell, midway inside the Wolves half, on the near side. He's got Lewis Potter with him, he's got Jensen to his right, he plays it to Jensen. He goes out to the left to Lewis Potter, on his right foot, keeps it simple to Jensen, then back out to Lewis Potter, try to take on Doherty, goes on the outside of the Irishman, into the box, byline, pulls it across, it's well cleared by Aït-Nouri, headed back forward by Pinnock, drops to Godos on the edge of the box, who helps it to the far post, and no one's there to attack it. And more frustration builds for Brentford. But that's really positive from Keane Lewis Potter, taking on Doherty with pace, going on the outside of him, on the byline. The cutback was good, it went right way through. Just couldn't find anyone in a red and white shirt. Damsgaard was the closest to it before it was cleared by Aït-Nouri, away from the feet of Wissa. And it's a goal kick for Wolves, who have defended decently in the second half to not concede any goals. to keep their advantage at 2. So it's half-time at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Manchester City 0. Still 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Palace 1. Sarr's goal kick, headed away by Pinnock. Helped forward by Damsgaard on halfway. Into the path of Mope. Cleared by Kilman first time. Throw in for Brentford. Jensen wants to take it quickly, and he will take it quickly. Into Damsgaard, who's just drifted out to the left-hand side. Mope will take over. It's now back out to the left of Jensen. Forward to Lewis Potter, who roulettes beyond João Gomez. And the last touch comes off the Wolves midfielder. Thrown for Brentford, taken quickly by Jensen, looking for Mope on the edge of the box. Cleared first time by Kilman. It'll be same again for Brentford. Another throw-in. Thrown quickly forward to Damsgaard. His pass comes off Tommy Doyle, but then deflects back to Damsgaard, who goes back to Jensen. Across to his right to Nathan Collins. Forward to Mope. Tries to turn forward, but he's tackled by Bueno. And it gets it forward in the end to Bellegarde, who lays it off behind him to his left to Aït-Nouri. Then Lamina goes back to the edge of the 18-yard box to Gomez. Totti Gomez, that is. And then on to the goalkeeper, Jose Sarr, who takes the touch and dribbles beyond Wissa. And then plays a ball to Lamina, to the left centre-half, Totti Gomez. Touch with the right foot and clears it with the left, up towards the halfway line, nodded down by Cunha. And it finds Bellegarde, who switches it out to the right to Matt Doherty, who has to nod it backwards to Kilman as he was being challenged there by Lewis Potter. It's now back with Doherty on the right-hand side. Dribbling away from Damsgaard, but not away from Yarnell. Back with Brentford again. Inside their own half here with Pinnock. Very good battling going on in this second half. Both teams knowing their objective. Damsgaard forward to Norgard. Yarnell on the left. Can't get away from João Gomez, who goes over the challenge. But play continues as he gets it inside to Bellegarde. Midway side his own half. Can Wolves get it forward? He ends up going backwards to Jose Sarr. Then out to the left here to Totti Gomez. Forward to Tommy Doyle. Back to Sarr again. And Sarr will take no prisoners this time. It's a big clearance forward. Deep into the Brentford half, where it will be collected by number 1, Mark Flecken for Brentford. And as mentioned in the first half, in terms of Brentford's good season last season compared to this one, this season where they're not doing as well, they were only 2 points off Aston Villa, who got Conference League football, and they were only 3 points off Brighton in 6th. So they had a really good season last time out, Brentford, but obviously missing Ivan Toney for the whole season so far, and obviously missing Brian Mbeumo for the last, month or so through injury. It has been difficult for them as they've built from the back here. It's now on the halfway line with Damsgaard, out to the right to Jensen. Tackled by Doyle, but it'll be taken over by Collins. Forward to Godos, keeping it away from Aït-Nouri. Now back with Collins on halfway again. Got plenty of options, not being pressed by any Wolves players. Goes to Jensen on the far right-hand side. Back to Collins. Forward by Collins to Jensen. An early crossing towards the edge of the box. It bounces and it's headed away by Kilman. Through to João Gomez, who flicks onto Bellegarde, who gets it over the head of Collins and then goes down too easily for the referee's liking. And that'll be a Brentford ball. And they will continue as Bellegarde stays down. Jensen with the switch. Headed away by Doherty on the edge of the 18-yard box. It will drop here for Lewis Potter. He's got a bit of time here on the ball. Goes to his right to Damsgaard. And then back out to the left to Lewis Potter. Yarnell's overlapping. Doesn't use the run of Yarnell. He's trying to keep himself away from João Gomez. And he kicks it off Doherty. And he'll go through for a corner on the near side. He's a real menace on the left wing position. Keen Lewis Potter, especially more so in the second half. He's been a right nuisance for Wolverhampton Wanderers. And it's probably a performance that will keep him in the side. But it'll be a right-footed in-swinger on this near side through the number 8, Matthias Jensen, who's making his first appearance since the 12th of November. He'll put this cross in towards the far post. It's a header won by Kilman. It'll drop to Godos, plays it back out to the left to Damsgaard. From afar, he'll curl it towards Pinnock. Volleyed by Kilman. It's a slicer. It'll run through towards the corner flag on the far side where Kilman will keep it in. He's got loads of time here before Mope gets anywhere near him. And Kilman will blast it away. Up towards Tommy Doyle, headed away in the end by Damsgaard. Helped on by Pinnock, controlled by Lamina in the Wolves half. And he'll drive forward himself, finding Bellegarde on halfway, who turns forward, tries to get away from the challenge of Pinnock, but he loses out in the end. And it's now with Yarnell for Brentford. Pinnock. It's now with Collins. Furthest right is Damsgaard. He goes forward here for Brentford to Godos. It's now in with Pinnock in the centre circle. Again, not being pressed by any Wolves player, but eventually plays it forward to Jensen in between the defence, the midfield and forward line for Wolves, but his pass has been given away and he collides into Kilman and concedes a free kick there in the end. Matthias Jensen just trying to make up for losing the possession there, the Dane, but ended up giving a free kick away in the process. He tried a little back heel for Mopé, but didn't come off, and then absolutely clattered into Kilman. As I just said before, it's a free kick for the away side. Jose Sá to take down the Wolves right towards Doherty. It goes beyond him and Lewis Potter, and it'll be a goal kick for Brentford, who have got just over 15 minutes to play, plus added on time. They've been the team in domination in the second half due to being 2 goals down, but they've not been able to get the ball into the back of the net. After 3 of the 4 goals came within 4 minutes in the first half, as Damgard slips on halfway and he gives it to Aït-Nouri. Ball through to Cunha, 1-on-1 with Pinnock. Enters the box, left foot, he strikes it off the post! And it'll drop to Yarnell on the edge of the box. Huge chance for Matheus Cunha. And Norgard will play it through, looking towards Mopé, well cut out by Doherty. And now João Gomes will drive forward for Wolves. And he'll play a ball forward. No one's there for Wolves to chase, and it'll be a ball for Flecken to deal with. But Matheus Cunha nearly punishing Brentford for the error from Damsgaard on the halfway line, slipping on the ball. But his left-footed strike hit the right-hand post as he aimed for the far corner. Would have been a real smash and grab kind of goal in terms of the second half and the way it's panned out. But Santiago Bueno's worked out another ball out to the left of Cunha, who slipped himself this time. And it means Pinnock can take the ball away. And he'll go forward now, Pinnock, and find Jensen. Back to Pinnock again. Now it's with Collins midway inside the Brentford half, but that could have been a second chance in quick succession for Cunha, who's got 3 goals in his last 6 games. It's Fulham, Arsenal and Forest. And he came ever so close there as Jensen's ball forward finds Damsgaard, 25 yards out, tries to slip it through towards Wisser in the box, cut out by Bueno. But it's now back with Brentford, with Jensen, who's just drifting out to this right-hand side. It's now Damsgaard, not being closed down by Totti Gomez, so he's allowed to play a low ball into the box, which has been cleared first time by Kilman, straight to Collins. He goes forward once again to Damsgaard on that right-hand side. He will cross it low, deflects off Lamina, it loops up, and it's headed away by Tommy Doyle, controlled by Yarnell. It's good backwards here to Pinnock, forward to Norgard, back out to the left to Yarnell. Forward first time to Mopé, good touch from the Frenchman. He's got Lewis Potter in support. He will eventually be fed here by Yarnell. Lewis Potter squares it to his right to Norgard, then tries to play a ball through to Lewis Potter, cut out by Doherty on the edge of the box. And it's played through towards Cunha, who will not get there ahead of Pinnock. Good defending from the Jamaican. And it's now Brentford again on halfway with Godos. Forward to Jensen. 1-2 here with Damsgaard. Out to the left we go to Yarnell. He will cross it low, deflects off Mopé, cleared by Bueno. Met on the first time strike by Godos, but he completely slices. And he'll drop to Aït-Nouri at left wing back here for Wolves. Totti Gomez in the area. Clip forward to Cunha. Chests it down, but he loses out to Norgard. Ball forward to Damsgaard. Chance for a shot maybe as he enters the box. He's off balance and he falls over too easily for the referee's liking. Clearance isn't good enough though for Wolves, but eventually it is, as the second time of asking. Kilman absolutely sends that ball flying away into the Brentford half, but it'll just be Brentford to come again. Brentford work out to the left. Lewis Potter again, entering the final third on this near side. 1-on-1 with Doherty. Lays it off short behind him to Yarnell. To his right to Norgard. Back to Yarnell again. He's got Jensen in support. He plays it to him. He's dead centre on the field. Plays a left-footed ball through into the box, looking for Mopé. Just goes away from the Frenchman, and it'll be seen through and collected in the end by Jose Sá. Just seems like that final pass just isn't quite connecting as Brentford would like. Getting into the right areas, but not really testing Jose Sá enough in this second half. As Jose Sá kicks out of his hand straight onto the chest of Pinnock, who plays it to the left of Yarnell, just inside his own half. He goes forward into the Wolves' half, where Mopé's tackled by Kilman. Loose ball drops to Norgard. Over the top it goes for Wisser, who's got the pace, but he doesn't have the strength to get there ahead of Bueno. And it's now Totti Gomez on the edge of the 18-yard box. Forward into the Brentford half, where Bellegarde thought about giving it chase, but short ball again by Collins, straight to Cunha, who enters the box, squares it to the left to Bellegarde, and it's Brentford 1, Wolves 4. And in the second half, which has been all Brentford, they haven't been able to get that second goal to really get them back in the game. And on the counter-attack, for a third time in the game, Nathan Collins, against his former side, gives the ball away, and it ends in a goal, and the Brentford supporters have seen enough. For 3 of the 4 goals, Nathan Collins has given the ball away, and that is so poor. It's a short ball out to the left back, Yarnell. It found Cunha, who just on the edge of the 18-yard box was very unselfish, and squared it to the left-hand side to Bellegarde, who was making his run into the box. And the substitute for Hwang Hee-chan, who'd got to himself, slotted it beyond Flecken into the bottom left corner. Went towards the near post, beat the goalkeeper, and Jean-Rickner Bellegarde gets his second goal for Wolves. They've both come away from home. It's his first since early November in that 2-1 defeat to Sheffield United. And surely that is game, set, match now for Gary O'Neill. It's Brentford 1, Wolves 4. What a disaster for Nathan Collins. Gave away the ball for the second goal straight from kick-off. He gave the ball away for the third goal straight onto the head of Totti Gomez, who headed it forward for Hwang Hee-chan, and he scored from that. And then giving it away there, such an easy pass. It's not even difficult passes that he's giving the ball away. They're simple 10, 15, 20-yard passes that he's just not putting enough power on them. And it's giving the ball away. And Wolves, you can't take this away from them. They have been nothing but clinical, and that's why they're leading 4-1. 3 absolute Christmas gifts, late gifts, from their former player, Nathan Collins. And Wolves haven't done much this half. They'd hit the post with Cunha about 5 minutes previous to the goal, but that time Bellegarde was able to find the back of the net. Lewis Potter crosses, deflects into the sky, headed over by João Gomes on the edge of the box to Tommy Doyle, who helps it forward to Cunha. Good control, brings it down on the halfway line. Keeps it away from Jensen, but then tackled by Lewis Potter. Then Norgard goes forward to Damsgaard. He's got Mopé making a run forward. Can't quite release it in time for his run, but he gets it out to the left to Lewis Potter. He's running at Doherty, and he wins the corner. Last touch off the Irishman. As at Stamford Bridge, it is still Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 1. Goodison Park is still half-time, and that's 1-0 to Everton. Yeah, I think the last touch did just come off Doherty. In the Premier League, this will be Wolves' second away win at Brentford. Their last one coming in January 2022 is that corner is headed away by João Gomes. I think we had a change there for Wolves after that goal. I think I missed it. Ryan Ait-Nouri, the left wing-back, has been replaced by Hugo Bueno, the Spaniard. As Wolves are breaking away here. Tommy Doyle, ball out to the left-hand side to that substitute, Hugo Bueno, who brings it down in the final third. One-on-one with Godos. Goes to the edge of the box to Cunha. He's flicking towards Bellegarde. He's cut out by Norgard. And it's now Mopé on the ball. Out to the left-hand side. Being chased down by Tommy Doyle from behind. He's got Doherty in front of him. Keeps it away from both of them for now. And then finds Damsgaard. It's now out onto the left for Lewis Potter. And it's Brentford on the ball in their own half. Norgard forward to Damsgaard as we enter the Wolves half here. Out to the left-hand side to Lewis Potter. Got Jensen making a run in front of him. Not really one that he can find. And it's gone to the right instead here to Norgard, the captain. Back out to the left to Yarnell. He's got Lewis Potter furthest left, and he finds him. Onto his right foot. Simple pass to his right to Norgard. Forward to Yarnell. It's now Lewis Potter again. Simple ball to Jensen, who can't quite complete the 1-2. Jensen still has it, edge of the box. He enters the box on the left-hand side, works out of the box to Lewis Potter, then backwards to Norgard, across to his right to Yarnell, who will lift the ball in towards the far post. Jose Sarr will come to collect, he drops it, and in the end, he gets onto it in the end. A little bit of panic from Jose Sarr, but he was able to recollect the ball in the end after dropping it the first time. Nearly got a little bit messy there for the Portuguese goalkeeper. As Chelsea looks like they may have nicked a late winner here at Stamford Bridge. Noni Madueke with the penalty. So obviously Cole Palmer's not started tonight. And he's not even in the matchday squad for Cole Palmer. So hopefully he's not injured or anything, because that'd be a bit of a shame. So off the bench, Madueke's come on and slotted a penalty home. 89th minute of the game as Kilman's header short. Picked up by Mope midway inside the Wolves half. Goes to his right where his pass has been intercepted by Lamina. Only as far as Pinnock, who goes back out to the left there to Jensen. It's now Lewis Potter again in the final third. Goes to his right to Jensen. 25 yards from goal. He will strike it straight off the top of the head of Kilman. And it clears away to the halfway line for Brentford with Ethan Pinnock playing it inside to his right to Norgard. Lifts it towards Mope and it goes through for a header for Santiago Bueno to clear. As far as Pinnock again. It's now with Norgard, midway inside the Wolves half. Goes to the right and backwards to Collins. Then curls it out to the left to Yarnell. Lewis Potter is ahead of him. He goes to his right to Norgard instead. He will put a cross into the far post towards Godos. It goes over him and out for a goal kick in the end. Again, just struggling with that final cross, that final pass for Brentford. It's not quite come off for them tonight. It's going to get two changes with just over 5 minutes to play for Brentford. It's going to be Johan Wisser, the goal scorer, for their only goal. He is going to be replaced here. So Johan Wisser is off and Keane Lewis Potter. Probably the two most dangerous players for Brentford, which kind of shows you that Thomas Frank sees this game as all but done. And they'll be replaced by Miles Pert Harris and Michael Olakigbe. So two youngsters coming on. Pert Harris at the age of 21 and Olakigbe at the age of 19. Olakigbe's come off the bench in the last 3 games now in the Premier League, and Pert Harris has come off the bench 3 times now against Luton, Brighton and now Wolves. So some more minutes for some of the more inexperienced players on the Brentford bench. Jose Sarr's goal kick is headed forward by Collins, controlled by Hugo Bueno, gets away from the challenge of Jensen and then goes back on him and plays it backwards to Totti Gomez and then backwards once more to Jose Sarr in the 18-yard box. Jose Sarr, big clearance forward, looking for Bellegarde. He goes over, and so does Nathan Collins as the ball runs through to Flecken, who tries to chop past Cunha, and he just about keeps the ball away from the Brazilian. And it's now with Brentford on the left-hand side with Yarnell. Forward here to Pert Harris. He's got Olakigbe to his left. He's got Jensen to the right. Pert Harris goes inside to Norgard instead. Then to Yarnell, who's getting forward from left back. Forward to Pert Harris. Trying to find the run of Jensen down the byline. Cut out by Doherty and cleared by the former Spurs fullback. And it's cleared out for a throw-in. Taken quickly by Brentford to the halfway line. To Ethan Pinnock. Well, shows there for Wolves. 10 shots. 4 on target. 4 goals. And they've given the ball away there. Jensen again to Tommy Doyle. Back to Jose Sarr, whose clearance is on the halfway line. Volleyed forward by Collins. And Pert Harris can't keep it alive for Brentford. Cleared in the end again by Jose Sarr. It's controlled by Ethan Pinnock on the edge of his 18-yard box and played down the left to Yarnell. It's now with number 6 again, Christian Norgard. Forward to Miles Pert Harris, who joined 2 seasons ago from Chelsea for £1.4 million. Spent last season on loan at Forest Green in a season where they were relegated from League One. Matthias Jensen for Brentford. Forward into the box for Godos, who goes down under the challenge of Doherty. Nothing done by the referee. No free kick for a dive and no penalty for a foul. But there will be a stoppage to have a look. I think Godos may have just been... No, I don't know. Doherty runs across him from behind and he does just catch Godos, which makes him trip. Don't think it's intentional. So Godos goes in front of Doherty, and as Doherty's running behind him, he just clips his left foot, which makes his left foot, trip himself up. So I don't think it's intentional by Doherty. He tries to pull out of the challenge, but that left leg of Doherty does catch Godos. But No penalty given. Yeah, it would have been a little bit soft in all fairness. There was contacts, but Doherty was trying to avoid it. He wasn't going into the challenge. He was more backing out of it in the end. Chelsea still have a hold of their 2-1 lead in the 97th minute. Everton still lead 1-0 in the 52nd against Manchester City. As Kilman heads away for Wolves onto the halfway line where it's headed forward by Damsgaard. All as far as Tommy Doyle. It's now Lamina for Wolves. Out to the left to Hugo Bueno. Forward to Bellegarde, who's got the pace. Sean Collins, he's charging down the left in the box. Will he cut it back? He'll go for the shot instead, which he saved at the near post by Flecken. Cunha wanted the return of an assist after he assisted Bellegarde. Bellegarde went on his own. It was well saved. And it's still alive here, though, for Wolves. One back by Hugo Bueno. João Gomez in the box, in the corner of the box on the left-hand side. Goes back to Lamina. Back out to Hugo Bueno on the left. Finds João Gomez. Goes across to the right to Tommy Doyle. On once more to Kilman, midway inside the Brentford half. Everything to his left here for Matt Doherty, who receives the ball. Goes all the way back to the halfway line here to Santiago Bueno. Looks like he's completing his second 90-minute game for Wolves. His other 90-minute appearance came against Fulham in the away defeat in late November. He's had to take his time to adjust to Wolves, Santiago Bueno, but he's had a good performance, the 25-year-old. Jose Sarr's clearance forward up to the left-hand side. Can't quite be kept in by Bellegarde, who got the 4th goal for Wolves. Well, it has only been positive for Wolves, because I didn't mention this at the start of the game, but Pedro Neto has returned to the bench. He's missed the last 8 games due to a hamstring injury in November, but he's back on the bench, Pedro Neto. He's not had to come on, but it's good to see him back in the matchday squad for Wolverhampton Wanderers as Kilman goes down there under a challenge from Pert Harris, as Simon Hooper, the 4th official, indicates an extra 5 minutes of play here at the G-Tech. Oh, he's got it wrong. 6 minutes of added on time here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. He held up 5 first, and then 6. Simon Hooper, very prone to a big mistake in a game, like he did against Tottenham. I'm joking. That wasn't a big mistake. He just put the wrong number up there. As Chelsea and Palace still play 9th minute of added on time. As Manchester City equalise at Goodison Park. As Jose Sarr takes that free kick into the final third for Wolves, where it's been played back by Yarnell to Flecken, who lifts it back to Yarnell at left back. Forward it goes towards Jensen, dispossessed by Doherty, who plays it through towards Doyle in the box. Can't quite get there ahead of Pinnock, who dribbles out of the area and clears it down the left channel up towards Pert Harris, who goes over on the challenge of Kilman, and that'll be a free kick for Brentford on their left-hand side. Goal for Manchester City scored by Phil Foden. Seems like Manchester City have dominated that game. 14 shots, 5 on target, 74% of the ball. As it's Ola Kigbay on the ball, the Brentford number 37 in the final third. Got plenty of bodies to run through, but they go for an early shot instead, and it arrows straight out for a goal kick. Didn't get his foot around the ball there. Michael Ola Kigbay, who joined last season from Fulham's under-18s. It's his 7th Premier League appearance, all coming this season. He was on the bench once last season in a game against Brighton in April. But due to the attacking options that are injured at the minute for Brentford, the likes of Onyeka, the midfielder, and Burmo's out as well. De Silva's out as well. With Ivan Toney, they are just having to call upon youth on the bench. As Totti Gomez at left centre-half heads it away for Wolves. Down the line, headed away by Collins for Brentford. Helped away by the volley of Godos. Pert Harris will chase it. Totti Gomez will get there first and plays it back to his goalkeeper, who doesn't take any chances. Clears it first time, straight out for a throw-in on the halfway line for Brentford on the far side. Godos throws it to Damsgaard. Dispossessed too easily there by Lamina. Now João Gomez gets away from Norgard. Looking for a ball forward. It's a bit of an aimless ball in the end, and it's one back for Brentford in their own half through Yarnell. Ola Kigbay driving inside from that left wing position. Looking back out to the left-hand side. Finds Jensen, who crosses it early into the box. Header won by Santiago Bueno. Straight to the feet of João Gomez, midway inside his own half. It's now Doyle. Back to João Gomez. Can't quite get away from the tackle of Damsgaard. It's now out to Ola Kigbay at left wing for Brentford. Running at Matt Doherty. Wanting to get onto his right foot, which is his stronger foot. Plays a pass to Damsgaard and into the path of Yarnell. Towards the byline, he can work across, which deflects off Matt Doherty. And that'll be a corner kick for Brentford on the near side, as we've got 2.5 minutes to play. It's not actually going to be a corner, it's going to be a free kick right outside the box there, as Doherty blocked with his hands. As Jensen goes for... I really couldn't tell you if that was a shot or a cross. It had a lot of power. It wasn't on target in any sense of the word. And it's out for a goal kick. It's been a really good away performance for Wolves as they win their third away game of the season in the league. It's their first since that away win at Bournemouth back in October. So they've had to wait a while for another away win. But they've done well here. 3-1 up at half-time, and they added to their goals in the 79th minute through Bellegarde, the substitute. As Jose Sarr clears it forward, headed away by Collins. Stopped on halfway by Lamina. Kilman goes long, down the Wolves' left. Bellegarde will chase it. He'll go outside the area where Flecken's met it with a right-footed clearance, headed back forward by Hugo Bueno. But can't be kept for Wolves by João Gomez, dispossessed by Sam and Godos. As the flag goes up there on Wolves. I think as Kilman cleared it, I think one of the Wolves attackers was coming back from an offside position. As Chelsea have seen those 3 points through against Crystal Palace, it ends 2-1. First half goals from Mudryk and Elise, and then an 89th minute winner from the penalty spot by Noni Madueke. So that does mean that Wolves will remain 11th now. Same points as Chelsea, but just 6 worse off on the goal difference. But for Wolves, this will be a second win on the bounce. It'll be their third win in 6 games. We've got about 45 seconds to play. Ola Kigbay for Brentford. Furthest left is Yarnell, midway side the Wolves half. Forward to Jensen. Out to the left to Ola Kigbay. Could we get a consolation goal for Brentford as Ola Kigbay puts it into the far post with a cross, headed away by Hugo Bueno. Godos will chase it, can't keep it in. It will be a throw-in though for Brentford in the final third. As he throws it all the way back towards the halfway line to Collins. Forward to Norgard. Back out to the right to Godos. Not got many options, so has to go backwards again to Collins. He just about keeps it moving away from Cunha. It's now Pinnock on halfway. As we are reaching the 6th minute of added on time. Yarnell, ball goes behind Mope. Picked up by Lamina. He will drive forward and he plays out to the right hand side into Doyle, who will reach the ball first, and that will be that. Andy Madley, the referee, blows for full time here, and at the G-Tech Community Stadium it ends Brentford 1, Wolves 4. After 3 home wins on the bounce for Brentford, they are now 2 on the bounce with losses, losing to Aston Villa 10 days ago, and then again today against Wolves, and they were well beaten by Gary O'Neill's side, who pick up back-to-back victories after their Christmas Eve win at home to Chelsea. They are on the cusp of the top half of the Premier League, Wolverhampton Wanderers, as Brentford remain 4 points away from the drop zone. And the goals today, the majority of them, came in a flurry. The goal scoring start in the 13th minute. A fantastic cross from Pablo Sarabia was met by the header of Mario Lamina, who couldn't miss from a couple of yards out with his header. And that started the goal scoring. And then from the kickoff from the goal, Brentford gave the ball away. Nathan Collins played a short back pass to the goalkeeper on the edge of the box where it was met by Hwang Hee-chan. He rounded the goalkeeper and had an easy open net finish to get 2 goals in 2 minutes for Wolves to take them to 2-0. But then Johan Wissa got one back in the 16th minute, just a couple of minutes after going 2 behind. A great ball played through to him by Mope and a nice finish into the top left corner from the DR Congo forward. And then Wolves were able to get their lead back to 2 in the 28th minute. Hwang Hee-chan again for being a winner from a misplaced pass from Nathan Collins for a second time. His clearance up the field was headed back forward by Totti Gomez, straight to Hwang Hee-chan, who took on Ethan Pinnock and slotted it into the bottom left corner. That made it 3-1. And then after half-time, it was all Brentford with the possession. They were struggling to really test Jose Sarr, and the nail was put in the coffin as Jean Rickner Bellegarde scored in the 79th minute. Cunha, a couple of minutes before, had hit the post, but that time, instead of going for the shot in the box, he squared it to his left to Bellegarde, who took the shot on into the bottom left corner at the near post to make it 4-1. And that did mean that Wolves had a very comfortable final 10 or 15 minutes of the game, and they saw the result through, and it ends here at the GTEC Community Stadium. Brentford 1, Wolves 4. Fantastic scoreline for those away supporters. As I mentioned before, this will be a 5-hour round trip for Wolves by coach and car. And they have gone to Brentford and they've absolutely smashed them. And that is a third Premier League win against Brentford in their 5th meeting in the Premier League. So it is usually Wolves who come out on top, and that's been the result again today. And the goals did dry up in the second half, but Wolves did not hold back on their performance. They were fantastic in the first half for their attacking play, and they were fantastic in the second half for their defensive display. So Gary O'Neill will be a very happy man seeing both sides of the game being executed so well by his team. But from the GTEC Community Stadium, that will be the end of tonight's live commentary. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Next 2 commentaries before the new year is the Old Firm derby on the 30th of December, where Rangers go to Celtic for the Old Firm derby, and then we've got Fulham taking on Arsenal on New Year's Eve. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And despite there being 3 goals in 4 minutes in the first half, which made Wolves go 2-1 up, they added to that in the first half to go 3-1 up with a double from Hwang Hee-chan. They added to that in the second through Jean Bellegarde, who slotted home from a nice assist from Matheus Cunha. And after a 90-minute game here, it ends Brentford 1, Wolves 4.